Okay, we are live. So for those listening at home, welcome to the Live from the Sword Coast podcast. My name is Kevin Madison, and I will be your friendly dungeon master this afternoon. So today, Steve and I are going to play a little more of our ongoing Conan role-playing game, or Conan campaign. This is using Modiphus Entertainment's new Conan role-playing game, Adventures in an Age Undreamed of. We have a campaign that's we've been poking at on and off the last couple of months, but today we thought we would revisit it and play a little solo session featuring Steve's character, Cahero. So, Steve, of course, is a regular fixture of the podcast, so I imagine he is
almost as famous as you do.
There you go. Yeah, such as it is. Okay, so the Steve's character you can see on my screen there. Steve is playing a guy named Cahero. Cahero is from one of the Black Kingdoms called Kashan. He is from a family of craftsmen and merchants and engineers, and we've sort of established that Cahero's specialty is as a siege engineer. He has the expertise to build, the trebuchets and the catapults and the ballistae and stuff like that. The armies of the Hyborian world use in their wars, and where we find him. Maybe let's go to the map here. Okay, Steve, I'll bring you over to. So this is the Hyborian world here. Boom. So where you are from, you may recall, is a place called Kashan, which I am pinging right now. Mm-hmm. So Kashan, and then what you've done is you've traveled north along the river here. I think it's actually called the Styx River as well, near Stygia. Stygia is kind of like a really dark version of pharaonic Egypt. And then into Shem, and then you join a caravan to get to Turan. Your ultimate destination is a place called Agrapur, and Agrapur is sort of the jewel of anything that can be traded anywhere in the Hyborian world sort of comes through there. So you think that, if riches are to be made, maybe I'll go there and make my fortune there, try and rebuild my family's fortune. So I'll switch you over to the closer map. This is a closer map of Turan here. And where you are is on a caravan that has just reached the city of Zambula. You can see it right, I'm pinging there. So Zambula looks like this. It is a tower of minarets and, this is a bigger city than what Zambula actually is. And I don't think Zambula's got walls on it. Does it? I don't think so. It's more of because Zambula is a trade city. It is full of minarets, and it has the way that Robbie Howard has described it is kind of like a melting pot of all the different, there are a lot of different distinct races right all across the Hyborian world. Agrapur, or rather Zambula, is sort of the place where it's the bastard offspring of those races kind of can live as well. So I should grab a pad paper. So what this is sort of your first stop off here. And what I'd like to do is use the, use the session in case you want to write anything down. Here you go. We're going to use the Conan downtime rules. Now, one of the cool things with Conan is that between adventures, you do sort of, there's an opportunity to do other things. Like you can bind your wounds. Remember that healing in Conan is a little different from other games where if you're suffering from wounds, which inflict one difficulty penalty to all your dice rolls, you can bind them. But if you suffer another wound, they open up again and they become a problem again. So you have to heal those wounds between sessions. You really do need to do some downtime and relax and get some, chirurgeon treatment or whatever. So that's one of the things. You're not wounded at this point. So here are there's really three parts to the downtime process. The first is that you pay your upkeep. Now, your upkeep is normally, I believe it's 1 gold. And gold in Conan is abstracted because none of those, none of the books or the stories about Conan really are about him counting out gold pieces or shit. Like, it's grabbing a handful of jewels and like living on those until he's out of money and then going and finding something else, right? So that's sort of what this game embraces, where it's just like it abstracts the cost of things. But what you've got is, let's see here. Actually, before we do this, let's quickly go through your character just to refresh your memory here. So in this game, remember that task resolution is a series of D20s, and you want to roll lower than your attribute plus whatever your expertise is. So like, for instance, on Caharo's got a melee rating. He's got an agility of 8 and a melee of 2, or a melee expertise of 2 and a focus of 2.
Okay.
So what that means is that when he's rolling his D20s, normally you start with 2, and then remember you can add up to 3 into it. Starting with 2d20, you're going to want to roll on a melee attack a 10 or less, and that counts as a success. Your focus tells you what a crit is. So your focus is a 2. If you roll a 1 or a 2, that means it counts as 2 successes.
Okay, nice.
Okay. What else do you need to know here? So that's the basic task resolution. Remember that there is, oh, I got to swap that over. One sec here. I need to cut and paste my, there it is. Remember that there is also, what level am I on? There we go. There are also, here we go. There is momentum and there is doom. Momentum is what you build up between scenes. So let's see here. There's only you in here. You have 3 fortune points, which means I start with 3 doom. There is currently 0 momentum. So the yellow will be the momentum. Oopsies. Yellow will be the momentum. The red will be the doom. And your fortune is on your character sheet there. Your fortune points, you can tick it off on there. See the tracker?
Yeah, tracker 5, vigor, fatigue.
Yeah, so just click in 3 of those because you start with 3.
Momentum, stress, trackers, wounds, strong, fortune, and 3. There we go. 1, 2, 3.
Brilliant. Okay, so remember, momentum you can use whenever you generate a success. Each success over whatever the target rating is, whatever the difficulty is, that counts as momentum.
Right.
And you can use that immediately to do cool shit like get a better result or do extra damage or do some kind of neat maneuver. Or you can use it to, you can bank it in the momentum pool. And in non-combat scenes, at the end of each scene, it goes down by 1. And remember, we talked about the example of the Conan and the guys sneaking into Thulsa Doom's lair, right? As an example of how to build up momentum on a non-combat or in non-combat scenes. Yeah, so that's how you build up. You can use momentum to get extra dice to roll up to the 5. You can get dice from extra things as well. You may remember there's reach, right? The difference in reach gives you extra dice as well to roll. There are also fortune points. Now, what fortune points do is you can use them to add to your dice roll. So you add an extra D20, but they're like supercharged momentum. When you use a fortune point, you count as if you rolled a 1, which means if you've got a focus in that, then that means you've I can't remember which. I may be fucking up. For those listening at home, I may be fucking up the difference between expertise and focus, but one of them adds to your skill level, one of them adds to your crit. But let's say if you've got a focus of 1 in that, when you spend a fortune point, that means you automatically get 2 successes with it. Okay. You can also voluntarily fail to gain fortune points back.
Okay.
You get fortune points back by doing other cool things, but you can just choose to be like, I fail this, and you'll get a fortune point back.
Okay.
Okay, so fortune points can be the auto 1. You can use it to do an extra standard action. You can use it to gain a second wind, so you regain some stress back. You can overcome a weakness if you're suffering from a harm. So for something that's penalizing a wound or a mental stress or whatever, you can use it to ignore that for the scene. And you can use it to influence the story. So just like Star Wars with light side points, you can use it to change something about the story. Okay, so that's what you can use fortune for, which is, like I said, better than momentum. What else do you need to know right now? Your talents, which are very much like in Star Wars. You've got Living Shadow, which is a stealth talent.
Right.
So you gain a bonus momentum equal to the total number when you succeed when attempting to remain unseen or unnoticed, you gain bonus momentum equal to the total number of your ranks in your stealth talents. You only have one right now, but that means you've got one extra momentum whenever you use stealth. Okay. You're super, super stealthy. Strong back is one of the athletics ones. And that one, for any athletics test that generates at least one success, you generate one extra one for each rank in strong back. So that's you're just I think your actual strength score is not like super high, but you're just really
healthy.
Yeah,
well built.
Yeah. And then bind wounds is what is it called? I can't remember. It's called medicine. Maybe it's just called healing. Let's see here. Healing, yeah. You may re-roll 1d20 when using the healing skill, but you must accept the results. And you can use to identify and treat sicknesses and poisons, to determine the nature of injuries. Yeah. Okay. All right. So now what else do you need to know? I think that's everything that you need to know for now. Everything else we'll just sort of deal with as we go. Your armor obviously subtracts from whatever damage you get, and you may remember that there's there's a different damage dice we use in this. What you'll do is when you roll, it will give you a result, and you'll have to sort of hover over it to see what the actual results are. But if it's rolling a d6, if you roll a 1, it's 1 point of damage. A 2 is 2 points of damage. 3, 4 is nothing. 5 and 6 is 1 point of damage plus effect.
Okay.
And then remember that your weapons have special abilities or special features that can trigger. Like your spear has piercing 1. So when you roll an effect, it ignores 1 point of armor for every effect that you roll. And then you also have a war pick, which does vicious 1, which means it does 1 extra damage for each effect you roll. So effectively a 5 or 6 becomes 2 points of damage instead of 1.
Right.
And then there are other things like you can loot, like Jeff's character has an ability called Blood on Steel, I think, that increases, you can spend a momentum to increase your rating of vicious by 1. So like and all that shit is decided after dice are rolled. So like you don't have to speculate as to what you might roll or might have happened. But anyway, okay, so that's how the mechanics work. That's what Caharo is all about. Let's see about downtime. Where is it here? I cannot wait for the, I printed off this this version. This is the just before the final release version. So I got this because I was too anxious to get a print copy. Got this printed, and then like a week afterwards they released one that has a glossary in it. So I may actually get a second copy printed. I mean, I imagine that
you just print the glossary.
Sorry?
Or you just print the glossary.
No, I want and it also has the actual in text references are in this version are still C page XX. Yeah, which is irritating. But plus it means I've got an extra copy of Conan kicking around then. And my print copy should be here hopefully sometime soon. All right, where are we here? Where's downtime? Life Between Adventures. Here we go. All right, so what you do is, first off, you have to pay for your upkeep. Your upkeep is all players at start of carousing, you must spend a number of gold equal to 3 plus your social standing. Now, I think your social standing is it listed on here?
Society? Yeah, that's a personality trait.
Oh, no, that would be society is a skill.
Okay.
So let's see here. Well, you are I can tell you what you are because you rolled, looking at your cast, that's what dictates your social standing.
Okay.
So maybe
merchant. Right.
Merchant. Okay, so that means that you are
scum.
Social standing of 1. All right, now, however, there was, I think because you're journeyman, you may be able to work to offset the cost of it. So basically, it'll cost you. Upkeep isn't just food and lodging; it encompasses everything that you maintain. Everything you spend to maintain your existence. So basically, yours would be 4 then. I don't think you have that much gold right now. Or your gear. Oh, I didn't list your equipment. Sorry. We did determine that, I think, when we were creating the character. I just don't remember what it was. All right. Forgive me for looking this up, Steve. It's again of the mind of once I look it up once, I shouldn't have to look it up again.
Right.
Okay, so the gold is equal to the sum of your character's personality attribute and expertise in the society skill. So what is your personality attribute?
Personality. 7.
What's your expertise in society?
0.
0. Okay, so you have 7 gold currently.
All right.
So that means that 4 of that gold is getting eaten up for your upkeep. So you're down to 3.
All right. 3.
Once you pay your upkeep, you then get to spend your experience points. Now, you do have actually 400 experience points stocked up so far. But maybe what we'll do is we'll play through this, and then you can have an extra 7. You'll have between 700 and 800 at the end of it, and then you can choose what to spend your XP on.
Perfect.
Okay. Then you get to choose your carousing activities. So these are things that you're doing, kind of like D&D's downtime events. So here's the options. You can try and meet a patron. You can try and meet someone who will be a source of either knowledge for. If you're a sorcerer, you want a patron because they will feed you. Knowledge about the arcane arts and stuff like that. If you are a merchant or a mercenary, then you can do that. Meeting a patron. So you have to find one which costs you 10 gold, which means you're not really able to do that just yet. You can trade, which is basically selling items and stuff like that. You can gamble. You can go for rumors, which is you can try and you spend gold, and each one you spend, I roll it's called a combat dice. So the 1, 2 means 1, 2, 3, 4 means nothing, 5 or 6 means 1 plus effect. I roll a combat die, and then that tells me the total number of rumors that you hear. It's you sort of asking around town about hey, what's going on? And for each effect that you roll on that, you gain a valuable. Also, for each effect, not each one. Each effect, you gain 1 piece of valuable knowledge, something that is actionable intelligence. It's something you can use to try and to find more money or an adventure or whatever. You can recover. So if you need to, high speed. If you need to recover from injuries you took in the last session, that's what you do with that. You can cultivate your renown. You can try and spend money to get people to know you. And the cool thing with renown is the higher it is, there are other effects. It drives down the cost of your upkeep, and there's other things. Right. You could receive a title, which you're not going to get now. So I think that the things that for your downtime, probably it's either going to be rumors, gambling, or trade. Now,
do I have some stuff, some booty?
You really don't. You've got what's on you. This is sort of you fresh off the caravan. Yeah. What you've managed to cobble together is you've got a horse, you've got a pack mule, you've got your spear, your shield, you were asking last session what a gambeson is. It's like a leather armor.
Okay.
Yeah. I looked at. I was rewatching the previous session, and I'm like, I should really look that up. And then, sure enough, it's what's included in one of your one of the pieces of equipment you get to start. Yeah. So, okay. So let's see here. There is one ability you've got, which I think allows you to offset the cost of your upkeep, and I just want to give you access to that if you can. Okay, so you got Savage Court, Tradesman, and Vagabond are your 2 cast traits. Tradesman, when carousing, if you do not have sufficient gold to pay your upkeep, you may offer your services to a tradesman or a guild in order to cover your upkeep. However, you may not take any other actions during that period of carousing. You have the gold, so you've paid for your, you're not living hand to mouth at this point.
Right.
Then, that's it. Okay.
I kind of like the idea of cultivating my renown a bit. I need to build some business here, right? I'm sort of I'm trying to climb back up the social ladder a bit, so I can get some honor, revenge for my family.
Okay. So you can spend 1 or more gold, and then at the end of that, I roll a number of combat dice equal to the amount of gold spent. And if the total rolled is equal to or higher than your current renown, then your renown increases by 1. However, if 1 or more effects are generated, you suffer from some negative attention as well, as the carousing gets out of control and causes some problems. One may have slain the fell sorceress and taken the pirate queen's treasure, but the latter is just enough to cover the room of the inn you just destroyed. And your reputation you've earned, and then the reputation that you've earned yourself is that you give a Stygian, is all that gives a Stygian thief pause while robbing your begrimed and unconscious body.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Grim.
Yeah. So, okay.
Right.
So yeah.
Let's do 1. Let's do 1 because I only have a renown I have a renown of 0, don't I? Or
you do. Yeah. Yeah.
Right, let's just.
So let me roll here. Okay. And I rolled an effect.
Yay.
Nice.
Yeah, you'll be happy.
Okay. So the player character gets a little rowdy and breaks some furniture at one of the inns, taverns, or feast halls being frequented. You must spend an additional gold in order to compensate the landlord. You did, however, gain 1 renown, so you can go ahead and give yourself a renown of 1.
What is that? It's not under personality.
Is it? I'm not sure it's listed on here. This was made in the during the playtest phase.
Okay. I can put it under something else here. Just put a character story.
Sure. Yeah. Wherever you want to. There's that other notes section. You can even put there.
Oh.
You can put your social standing and your renown there.
Right. Renowned.
Nice. Yeah, that's great. Okay, cool. So yeah, that's clever. So then the final thing we do in the carousing phase is we roll for carousing events, because life is never uneventful in the in the Hyperborean world. So why don't you roll 2d20 for me, and let's see what your result is.
Dun, 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 dun.
37. Nice.
Okay. That's pretty high.
Oh.
High is not good.
Yeah. Only because of where this adventure starts, I'm gonna. Now, fuck it. We'll go with dice as rolled. So, unfortunately, no, I'm not sure if this is your first time out of Kashan or not. But one of the upsides of such a cosmopolitan place is that you can hear all the languages of the world spoken in the Sook. You can meet and buy things from almost anywhere else in the Hyperborean world. One of the downsides too is that all the sicknesses from all over the world are brought back there, and you can be exposed to them. Something to which you have never been exposed before. So, you got sick during your first your first visit here. So you got, maybe there's a big carousing thing. Everyone got to know you, and then because of the overindulgence, your system, was a little weakened.
Yeah,
so,
travel. That'll make sick.
All right. So here's what. Here's the thing. I'm going to roll some fatigue damage on you.
Okay.
And you cannot get rid of this until you've received treatment from a healer. But you can spend a gold to get treatment from a healer. Okay. So you could just spend. All right. I rolled 1, 2, and in effect, so you got 2 fatigue. So if you go into your character sheet there.
Fatigue. 1, 2. Boom.
Yeah.
Boom. All
now
right.
you have a max of where is it? Oh, it's not. I think you may have unticked it by accident.
Oh, yeah.
I can tell you what your fatigue should be. Hold on here. That's one of the downsides for this sheet is that you can't just lock in what your score is. Okay, where's it? Oh, hold on. I may be fucking this up here, actually. One sec. Let me quickly. look up. I'm confusing it with your vigor. I think what it does is fatigue lowers your maximum vigor. Like once you've exceeded your vigor, then basically everything you take is a wound afterwards. And if you take more than 5 wounds, you die. If you take 5 wounds, you die. So so I think I'm almost positive that's how it works. Let me just double check that. So what that means is that it's easier, like you're not suffering damage, but you will get a more serious wound more easily with this. There's 2 ways you get wounds in this game. Is if you take 5 points of vigor or 5 points of resolve in 1 hit, then you get a wound on top of whatever the thing is. If your vigor is exhausted, your vigor is kind of like your battle, your battle endurance. So like it's nicks and scratches, and then at the end of an encounter, that you get all of it back. But what fatigue does is it pushes down that amount, so it makes you closer to. You're not actually injured, but it makes it closer to more serious injuries.
Increases the threat, sure.
Yeah. In fact, actually, I know that's how that works now that I think about it, so I'm not going to bother keep looking. So, do you wish to blow through your last gold to deal with that? Go see an apothecary, or do you want
to risk it a bit and carry on? I guess I better. I want a gold piece, but I think it's probably better to have that health.
Okay.
Let's spend it. Yeah.
Okay. So let's. I'm actually going to get you to roll because we'll do some narrative stuff here. Why don't you roll a society check for me, please? Right. Now there is currently 0 action points or 0 momentum. But let's see here. So I'm not giving you any extra dice. Unless you've got if you've got some neat.
Does my renown have an effect on that?
I don't think so. No, not to your. You're getting to be fairly well known, but that would be. Yeah, I don't think so. No.
Okay. Dice 1, 2.
How many are listed there? 2.
2 is what's listed.
Yeah, there's 2. Yeah. 0 society success. Oh, and you rolled
a red.
Complication. So a red means that you rolled a 20. So complication is which means you failed anyway, but then something else bad happens.
All right.
So okay, cool. Actually, I know what's going to happen. Okay, so what happens is you are you're sort of like, you can picture yourself like tall, lean, dark-skinned guy. You're very your skin is sallow. What you initially think is, after, partying it up in one of the trade caravans, and everyone's getting to know you and everyone's sort of chanting your name, you go, you go stagger back to whatever little hovel you're staying in. You wake up, and what you initially think is a hangover ends up getting much, much worse. And you're just like, you cannot shake this. So you think like, I need to go see the witch doctor or the shaman to deal with this. So you're you're sort of asking around, trying to find, and one of the guys who you met in the caravan, or in the not the caravan, in the it's the caravanserai. It's the place where all the caravans kind of meet and sort of like get ready to go out for their next outing, and also socialize with other travelers. This guy is a so he's sort of hunched over, hook-nosed. Dark-eyed, dark-haired, rattly kind of haired Turanian, who is, if you think of like Arabic, maybe that's sort of a good ethnic type to think of here. So this guy sort of has been readily accepting drinks and stuff like that from you throughout the whole the whole time. He was the first one in line to, like, next time you're like, another round on Cajero, he was one of the ones quickly willing to take that. And he runs into you, and he says, "Oh yeah, yes. So you need to find a healer, of course. Come." And I'm assuming that you. I think you bring your spear with you and your stuff, because like you just that's everything you own, so you're not going to leave it somewhere in here.
Right.
So you're sort of like trudging along, with this guy. He's like, back down. It's very special, very, very special. Back down an alley and stuff like that, and you're just too feverish to really think anything of it for the first little bit, and then you sort of hit this point where you realize that you know what? This guy was watching my coin purse the whole fucking time we were, I was carousing, and he leads you down this back alley into basically a blind alleyway, and you're sort of like, you walk in there and look around, and you realize that there is no real exit from here. There's a door that doesn't seem to be. You step forward at it, and you look back, and his face tells you like things have gone south. And at that moment, there are 3 other Turanians who walk out, all of them wielding some nasty-looking curved knives. And he says, "Your gold, give it to us."
Fine, jerk.
Okay, you could totally remember. This is Conan. The Conan game, it very much supports the sort of pulp, style thing.
Okay.
Just like in Star Wars, there are 3 tiers of enemies.
Okay.
Okay. So if you think Harold's the kind of guy who would just turn over his money, that's fine. But like, this is your last fucking gold, and this is what you need to get well again.
Yeah.
So there are, like I said, 3 tiers. There are minions, there are toughened, and there are nemesis.
Okay.
These dudes are minions.
All right.
Just to give you an example of how combat sort of works in here too.
Right.
So minions, just like in Star Wars, are treated as a big group, which means that they all act together. But you can, when you like damage one, and if it goes over and kills that one, it carries all automatically over to the next one too. So these 3 are facing you with their dagger. They're minions. They're wielding knives, which means that their reach is a 1 versus your spear, which has a 3, which means you got a distinct advantage over these fuckers with the nature weapon, unless they break your guard.
Right.
Okay. So in Conan in combat, heroes always go first, unless I spend a doom to take the advantage, and I'm not going to do that here. So what do you want to do? Do you want to turn over your money, or do you want to make these fuckers pay for their mistake?
Oh, well, I size them up, and even though I'm not feeling that great, I think any warrior has the ability to look at another warrior and get a sense of their ability level. And I'm not impressed, so I figured, man, screw this. I'm not in the mood.
These counseled street rats are only bolstered. Their confidence is only bolstered artificially by their numbers right now.
Right.
You will show them what Kashani steel means. So, okay, so what would you like to do?
Let's see here. All right. Well, there's the 4 of them. So let's say I'll brandish my spear. I'll just instantly put it in the throat of the guy that brought me here.
Okay.
And I'll say, leave now, and I'll forgive you.
Okay. Yeah. So here's another cool thing about Conan is you can use, there are 2 kinds of, broadly speaking, 2 kinds of attacks. There's your physical attacks. We're trying to break bones or skewer flesh or whatever. There are also mental attacks. Okay, so you've got, there isn't the default mental attack. You know what? I wish I had grabbed my fucking cheat sheets before. Because I have a bunch of cheat sheets for this game that I have put somewhere safe, which I don't know where the fuck it is. Give me a second. I'm just going to run downstairs. I think I've left them downstairs. If I've got those down in this whole, I've actually got a cheat sheet for you for momentum spends.
Aye. In the meantime, listen to a few words of Democracy in America by de Tocqueville.
In Europe, there are few associations which do not affect to represent the majority, or which do not believe that they represent it. This conviction, or this pretension, tends to augment their force amazingly, and contributes no less to legalize their measures. Violence may seem to be excusable in defense of the cause of oppressed right. Thus it is, in the vast labyrinth of human laws, that extreme liberty sometimes corrects the abuses of license, and that extreme democracy obviates the dangers of democratic government. In Europe, associations consider themselves, in some degree, as the legislative and executive councils of the people, which is unable to speak for itself. In America, where they only represent a minority of the population, they argue and they petition.
By the way, if you're not aware of it, I highly recommend listening to audiobooks on YouTube, and you can even put them at 1.5 and 2 times speed, so you can crash through big books pretty fast. I've been doing that a lot lately.
Means which the associations of Europe employ are in accordance with the end which they propose to obtain. As the principal aim of those bodies is to act and not to debate, to fight.
It's the peril of the safe place. Whenever you put something in a safe place,
right. You're not getting any younger, Kev. You're gonna, I know you have a mind like a steel trap, but the memory starts to go around 40.
I've got a memory like a fucking sieve nowadays. All right. Let's see what's in here. That's all.
Yep. Apparently, children learn at 7 times the rate of adults. I believe that.
I believe it. Yeah, it's is likely case. Okay. Oh, I got one more place to check. Which I think is. Oh, this looks promising. This looks promising. Hey, yes, go. Nice. All right. So I think this will save us some time here. Hi, sweetie. Hello, sweetie. What's up?
Hello.
Okay, so here, check it out. This is here's some cheat sheets for you. So summary of the things. Mm-hmm. This is what I was looking for. The displays of might. So that is
display.
And here we go for you. Summary of your actions you can take,
nice.
And momentum spends and fortune points.
Boom! All right. Then.
Yeah, I love those things. Okay, so the displays of might. Basically, what this is this is sort of like different ways of intimidating. What do you call it? It's intimidating other people. It's inflicting mental stress on them. Where is it here? What I need to do is I need to get my little tabs and tab where everything is in here. 2. Okay. Attack.
Oh, I've got the knife to throat thing going on.
Knife to throat is really only when you have the drop on someone. Like if you sneak it behind them and put it behind. So what the default one is Steely Glare. You use Persuade to do that, and it does 2 combat dice of damage. Mm-hmm. It has the stun quality, which I believe means that they tough. Actually, I can't remember. Let's see. Qualities. Stun does inflicts a staggered condition on the target if one or more effects are rolled, and again, page XXX. Fuck you. Cannot wait to see conditions. Here we go. They can only perform a standard action if the player is willing to pay 1 doom. Cool. So remember, you can also gain extra dice as up to the 3 you can get by giving me 1 doom.
Okay. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Okay. So Steely Glare is really the only one you've got. Stain the Soil Red is triggered when
3 enemies slain.
Yeah, so that's not Sorcerer's Might's not appropriate. Impossible Feat of Might, that's something you might be able to do, but you need to be able to do some kind of athletics thing along with that.
Right.
That's sort of like glaring at them and bending an iron bar or something like that.
Right.
The Flaming Brand is kind of like waving like a burning log or something at people, or a torch. Dead Man Stare is my absolute favorite. It's when you cut your enemy's fucking head off and you hold it at them and say like, come on. Right. It also has the area effect, so it hits a bunch of things.
Nice.
And then there's a Mighty Name, which is you must have a renown of 3 to do that. These are just defaults. Like if you want to reskin some of these, like for instance, in an earlier session, Jeff used his animal handling to use it because his animal handling is pretty good to basically intimidate a bunch of wolves. So that was kind of cool. So if what you want to do is try and threaten them, I think Steely Glare is probably the closest you've got right now.
Let's go for it. Let's throw a Doom in there too.
Okay. So then, if you're throwing a Doom, that means you're going to roll. So my Doom is now a 4, and you're going to roll 3 dice on your Persuade.
Persuade.
Yep. And it's against their. Let's see here.
Persuade.
Oh, actually, no, it's not against anything.
Noise 3. Waka waka waka. Kapow.
0.
No.
Okay. So you, what do you say?
I say, as I said before, I said leave now, and with my spear pointed at him with my Steely Glare.
Yeah.
And all will be forgiven.
The 3.
They're desperate and stupid.
The 4 of them kind of like laugh and they say, "We'll take it then, off your corpse," and they start fanning out in sort of a formation. And then they leap in. Now, the way it works for minions only roll 1 dice. Mm-hmm. Unlike any toughened or other characters always roll 2, but minions only roll 1, but they act as a group. So this is 4 of them all kind of going in to try and get at you. And I'm going to spend a Doom to give them an extra dice. So my Doom is down to a 3. So they're rolling the max of 5. Against you now. I don't think they're particularly tough though, so that is something to your advantage. I'm going to use the rather than flipping around, I'll refer to their stats here. Where are they? Where are you? Nope. Where are you guys? Doom, come on. Bandits. They're clearly succeeding on their stealth check here. Here we go. Okay, so let's see how they do. Okay, I've got... so their agility in combat is 10, so it's 1, 2, 3 successes. Okay, now, what you can choose to do is you can choose to parry. So you can try and knock their out of the way. I got 3 successes. What that does is it changes it into a challenge. Okay. Each success you roll on your parry adds to the difficulty. So right now the difficulty level is 1. Right. So, but here's the downside. Okay. Each parry costs you 1 doom. So the first one costs you 1 doom. Next one costs you 2. Next one costs you 3. Ooh. Now the modifier for that is there are certain weapons that have the parrying trait. So like swords have a parry, which means it reduces the cost of that by 1. Okay. Okay. Mm-hmm. That's one of the ways that certain weapons differ from that. Right. Oh, you know what? I fucked up though. Mm-hmm. Here's the thing is because of the size difference between them, their difficulty is up by 2. Right, okay. So because you got the spear, you're sort of able to keep them at them. So right. I've just scored a success. That means if you roll 1 success on your parry, then you've kept them at a distance. Okay. Okay. Yeah, let's rock and roll. Okay. So then it'll cost you 1 doom to do that. Yeah. And then just go ahead and roll your, now first, whoopsies, you don't have any momentum right now. You do have fortune points. And momentum from defenses can also, you'll notice that one of your things, a momentum spend is a counterattack. Okay, nice. All right, nice. So if I manage to get some, then counter. All right, let's do it. Here we go. Okay. Rock and roll. 3. So it says expertise 3, focus 3, but 2 dice. That sounds right to you? That's right. Yeah, yeah, because you're always rolling 2 dice. What is Fuck. What are they rolling? You rolled a 13 and a 16. 14 plus 20 is 2d, and that's a 0. 12 plus 15 plus 18 is a 0. And then 13 plus 16 is a 0. Yeah. Right. Yeah. So you just, what it means is that you rolled 0 successes. You've rolled no dice underneath that. So unfortunately, they do get through, which means you take, let's see here, the damage for their things is 4. They rolled no momentum though, so that's an advantage. They're not gonna be able to break your guard. And I rolled 1, 2, 3, 3 damage. But let me see here. I also get I get an effect, and the dagger is. Ooh, what does? Can you pass me the cheat sheets? I just want to see what Unforgiving does. Thanks. Just want to see what the Unforgiving. No, they didn't do an exploit. Okay. Unforgiving is something where if you set up, you can use an action called exploit, which is sort of like to set up. It's like a feint. Right. Then you can do certain weapons do a lot more damage when you set up an attack like that. Okay. Yeah, so no, there's nothing, and it's actually only 3 I should have rolled, not 4. So I'll take 1 dice away. You take 2 points of damage, but your armor is what? My armor is ranged melee. Where's my armor? Savage Spear, War Pick. On the left side, I believe. All armor value and type 2. So you have 2 in your. Let's see where they find 14 is a torso. So your torso armor is a 2, which means they do not do enough damage to get through. Woo, all right. So they what do you call it? You're in your weakened state. These fucking brigands have managed to get through your defenses. You try and keep them off, but they get through, and one of them stabs in and connects with your side. And there's a moment where you're kind of like, but you're thankfully your armor crafted at home, no doubt, manages to protect your vital organs. You take no damage. So next round, what are you gonna do? Old family secret. I will. What is next? All right, let's see here. So you've tried using a. Once you've tried using a. What do you call it? A combat or a display of might. You can't use it again in that combat against the same target. Okay. Additional actions, intense weapon and armor qualities. Okay. All right. Well, let's hit a couple of these guys. Or although I may be wrong about that. Yeah, you can. There's no requirements. You could Steely Glare again if you wanted to.
Oh, yeah.
But I mean, in likelihood, your spear maybe you're not a super persuasive necessarily dude. Yeah. Now, I'm rocking 5 Doom right now. You can still choose every time you roll. You can choose on a 1-for-1 to get extra dice, right?
Right.
So you can give me 3 more Doom and then roll 5 dice instead of rolling 2 dice, and you got a better chance of success. Then the more dice you're rolling, the better chance you have of getting successes and momentum.
Right.
Okay. So now, if you're choosing to attack, I'm sorry. I'm assuming that that's what you're doing.
Yes.
Okay. So here's the thing: is because your spear is a rank or a reach 3 versus their reach 1 daggers, you have 2 extra dice already.
That's pretty good.
Okay. So you're rolling 4 dice. Yeah. So go ahead and roll then. Your melee skill.
Melee.
Let's see how you do.
There it is. Expertise 2, focus 2. Here we go. Dice 4.
Oh, actually, and I have to decide. Sorry, I'm gonna have them do a. Let me think here. Am I gonna have them? No, I won't have them parry. Okay, so you got 2, but you got a complication. It looks like as well. Okay, so and complications are very much like threat in Star Wars. So what I can do with that as a DM is I can choose to add Doom to the pool, or I can have you suffer a consequence. Now, what do I want to do? Okay, complications. Okay, so you know what I'm gonna say is that you start, using your spear around in here, and because it's such close quarters, that there's just and these guys are sort of all over the place. It's really hard to use this thing. So the difficulty of your attack next round will be up by 1. But you do get 2 successes. They don't parry, which means 1 is to hit them, and you got 1 momentum. So. Take a look at you can choose to, it's going to go away at the end of the round anyway, so there's really no reason to not use it. In this case, momentum can on a 1-for-1 add extra damage. Now, damage that comes from momentum is just flat damage. It's not extra dice that's rolled. So it's that, and there may be some other things like you can pierce.
Right, 1, so there's costs. What cost 1 is change stance, bonus damage, reroll damage, subdue, or withdraw.
You can roll. Let's roll damage first. So the dice next to the spear. Go ahead and roll that.
All right, spear rolling damage. 0 modifiers to damage.
That's right. Yeah.
4.
Nice.
Effect.
Okay, plus 2 specials. All right. So here's where this is actually where the red is good for you, because you rolled 4 points of damage plus you rolled 2 specials. And then what special is the effect.
Piercing, yeah.
So you got 2 effects, which means piercing 1 is triggered twice.
Nice.
So you're piercing 2 points of armor on them as well too. So which is more than enough to go through their the leather jerkins that they're wearing. You what do you call it? You stab into 1, and he gets a really nasty. You clearly get a piece of him. Your momentum spends. Is there anything on there that looks like it might be?
What about? I could always do withdraw.
What does that do?
Leaves the reach of an enemy without triggering any retaliate actions.
Oh yeah. Retaliate is they can spend Doom. Like if you try and you can do this as well. You can any kind of reactions. The way reactions work in this game is that you spend Doom. Like you get Doom. Oh, Emmy.
Sure. I'll slowly try. Why don't we try withdraw, and then I will try to keep it at the end of my sword range, and also try to get out of the alley
or spear range.
Yeah, spear range. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll say that you do that. Okay, so you spend your momentum, and you're out of range now. So you're starting to make your way out of the alleyway. Okay, so it's their their turn now. They're not keen on letting you do that. So they go scrambling after you. Get him! They say it's probably in Turanian, so you don't understand it, but you get the meaning of get him. So they're going to jump in. I'm going to spend another Doom as well to give them an extra base.
Of get him. I think I understand that.
Yep, absolutely. Okay, so my beam's back down to a 3. They're up to a 5, and let's see how they do. They got a 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 successes. Shit. Now, let's see here. I want to see if you need to declare your defense before I roll the attack. I didn't give you a chance to do that, but let's see here. Standard actions. Reactions. Okay, it's when I didn't give you this opportunity. I'm declaring you as a target for this. So would you like to try and parry again?
It costs another doom, right?
It costs you another doom, yeah.
Geez, I guess I better go for it. Why not? Yeah.
Okay. Now, here's another cool thing. Oh, that's retaliate. Never mind. Okay. Right. So go ahead and roll your parry.
2 dice? Or three, I guess.
Stop it.
2 dice, right?
Yes.
Yay!
Nice. All right. So that at least brings it down to 3. So they get 3 successes, which means they get just enough to hit you. Yeah, but no extra damage. So that's helpful.
Nice.
Okay, and then damage is 3d6 again. 3 points of damage.
Nice.
So unfortunately, they sort of come racing down the alleyway, and you're trying to keep them at a distance, but they're swarming around you. One of them manages to clip you, so you take 1 point of vigor.
Got it.
So just tick that off. Yep. And then, okay, your turn. And actually, I'm going to spend a doom for them to go again.
Okay.
Because they are fuckers, and I want to start using up this doom.
Indeed they are.
Okay, so they're going to interrupt you, and they're going to go first. And I'll spend another doom to boost their attack again. Take him down! Take him down! Don't let him get away! Let's see how they do. Now, do you want to defend again?
A bit of do another parry. I mean, lock and roll. Let's do
Okay,
it.
so you go ahead, and it'll tell me what the difficulty is. Right now, my difficulty level is 3. 1, nice. Oh, what is your parry score?
My parry score is
Or sorry, the focus of it.
Focus is 3.
Okay, so here's the thing. When it's green like us, this game doesn't unfortunately track, or at least the character sheet doesn't track it. When it's green like that, that means you've triggered basically a crit.
Right.
So you didn't roll 2 successes on your parry; you rolled 4.
Okay, nice.
Which means that you would have had, so they would not have hit you.
Okay.
Plus, you would have had 1 momentum.
All right, that's more like it.
Okay.
Cool. All right.
No, that's not right. They would have. You don't have momentum because you would have brought their successes down to 1, which means they couldn't get through your spear.
Right. Okay.
So that's why maybe they doubled down and are trying to attack.
All right.
Okay, so here we go. So you've got how many successes on your thing? 1, which means now they need 4 successes to actually hit you. Nope. And I rolled 1 complication. So I either have to spend a doom or I have to give you something good out of this. And I think what's going to happen is they're sort of getting on top of each other right now.
Right.
So you're going to suffer for this round. You're going to suffer the 1 difficulty level increase for your spear because there's a lot of them. But they're just sort of like bumbling kind of idiots on top of each other. So next round they're going to need they're going to have +1 difficulty. So they'll need a 4 to be able to hit you.
Okay.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. Cool. So that's not fair.
That sounds beautiful. All right.
Okay. So now it's your turn.
All right. Well, I guess we better teach these punks a little lesson. These
Okay.
street thugs. Attacking it is.
You have your fortune points too.
I do. I'm pretty solid on my attack. I would say that for defense.
Okay.
Okay, so I get modifier to damage, and I get 4 dice naturally, right?
You get 4 dice naturally. Yes. Yes, that's right because of the length of your spear.
4.
Oh,
Boom.
wow! But a complication. Oh no, you rolled your. Sorry, you're rolling your damage.
Oh.
Yeah. Sorry. You got to roll your melee skill first.
Sucker. All
Sorry.
right, yeah,
We will save that for your damage. If you hit, that's your damage though.
So dice 2 or dice 2?
Dice 4.
Dice 4. So I put 4. Okay. Yeah. Well, 1 and a complication. All right.
1 and 2 complications.
Sweet. All right.
Okay. All right. So that means that you do hit. Did you put 4 in on the dice when you rolled? Yeah, you did. Okay. So I need you to roll damage again.
Okay. There was again. That's not 4 on the damage dice.
No.
Okay. So I actually didn't put anything on the damage dice. That is 4.
Oh, natural. Okay, then yeah, ignore it. Then we'll use that result.
Okay.
So it's 1. Jesus, so you did 4, 5, 6 damage. Here's the thing with the specials. It doesn't, and I actually forgot that for the last one. Special doesn't count that as part of the total as well.
Okay.
So you have rolled, let's see here. Yeah. 1. Oh, no, 1 plus special, plus 1 plus special, plus 2. Okay, so that's right. Yeah, 4 and a piercing of 2 means you do another 4 damage. So one of these fuckers goes down.
Okay.
How does that look?
Yeah, maybe it's the same guy I connected with before or whatever, and he just a look of shock on his face as he looks down to see a pole sticking out of his stomach.
Nice.
Which he never in a million years expected to see. Fool that he is.
Nice.
Collapses.
Okay, so that is that's 1 down, and then so for 2 complications. Oh boy, that is something more serious. What I'm going to say is, oh shoot, you know what? I got bad news.
Huh?
Difficulty level was increased by 1 this round.
Right.
So you actually don't hit.
Ah.
Sorry. Okay, so you do not hit, and you do roll 2 complications.
All right.
So the complication for 2. Where's the DM section? Here we go. Creates severe issues or situations that persist and which the character will need to spend a great effort to work around. You know what? Your spear, in the course of your fighting and whatnot, you knock some sort of canvas, like there's a canvas awning that comes down, and somehow your spear gets sort of caught up in it. And it's going to take you, I'm going to roll 2 dice, and I'll tell you how many rounds. So 2 combat dice. 1 round. It'll take you 1 round to get it free. So basically, you can either for free drop it and try and use either like draw your war pick or just try and like fucking wrestle with these guys, or you can spend a round trying to get this thing free. Right. Here's the upside. So you didn't hit these guys, but that was the end of the round. Top of the round, heroes always go first. You get to go again.
All right.
I'm not going to spend my doom to go again. So
now drawing an item is a swift action.
Yes.
All right, and that's that doesn't use it so I can still act.
You can still act. Yeah.
All right.
Let's see here. What is the end of the actions? I think that sounds right.
Summary of actions, drop item, just draw item, minor action.
Yep. So you can do that.
Okay. And then I'll draw the pick, and then I'll start working on them.
Okay. All right. So your pick is now out, and go ahead and make an attack.
All right.
So first off, do you want to dip into some doom, or do you want to spend any fortune?
And the fortune will grant me.
Fortune gives you an auto. Well, if you're spending it to add extra dice, it gives you 1 extra dice that counts as if it rolled a 1.
Oh,
which means 2 successes automatically.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, that's kind of interesting, isn't it? And then my regular roll. Let's spend a fortune.
Okay. So now your regular roll, the war pick has a reach of 2, which means you get 1 extra dice.
Okay.
So you're going to roll 3 dice, and you've already got 2 successes.
All right. Nice. Rolling 3 dice.
Oh man, and another complication. Mm-hmm. Holy shit. Okay, so you do hit. Mm-hmm. And it means you got a net of 2 successes, so you have 2 momentum to spend.
Nice.
What would you like to spend that momentum on? You can decide. You can roll damage first, and then decide what you want to spend that damage on. Yeah. So why don't you roll damage? So click next to the war pick.
Okay.
Let's see how you do here.
And just the standard, no modifiers.
No modifiers. That's right. Yeah.
Nice.
Whoa, shit. Oh, and 2 specials. Sweet.
Yeah.
Here's a cool thing. So the effect with the war pick is vicious, which means +1 damage. So you do 6 points of damage against these guys. Okay, so
right in the liver.
What do you want to spend your? So there's only 3 of them left right now. No, there's still 4 because I fucked up. So there's 4 of them left. You're doing right now 6 points of damage. That'll be stopped by, and they have 1 point of armor.
Okay.
So
maybe secondary target, and then I submit my pick kind of goes through one guy's face and into the other guy's
Okay. Can I see secondary targets? Let's see what it does here.
Half damage.
Oh yeah, sure. Okay. You could also do swift action and gain a second standard action.
Oh really? So a second
which
attack.
It increases the difficulty by 1 step, but allows you to do a second attack. You can only do that once per round, but if the momentum that's generated by that carries over as well too. So if you get more momentum on this,
rock and roll. Let's do it.
Okay. So hold on. So first thing is this guys, you've done enough now. So one of the guys goes down, and then you sort of like carry through and hit another guy in the side, and then you're sort of like, you know, their blood is up now. So you're gonna bring it back and go ahead and make your attack. Am I gonna parry? Okay, actually, because they've got a dagger that has a parrying 1 trait, they get a parry once for free.
Okay.
Okay, so let me just roll for their parry, and I'll tell you what the difficulty is. Right now, the difficulty is a 1, and it's coordinated, so it's a 10 or higher. They got no successes, so go ahead.
Yay.
They're feebly trying to get their daggers in the way, but let's see if you crush them with your...
Crush them.
Nice. 1, okay. So you hit. Go ahead and roll damage. Oh, so you don't, because the difficulty for a swift action is 1 higher.
Oh, scheiße.
Now, you do have 2 more fortune points left. You could spend those.
Let's do it.
Okay, so you actually have 1 momentum to spend now.
Nice.
Which means you could, well, let's roll damage and see how that goes.
Alrighty, this is 0 mods, I think.
Woo.
Bam.
What do you get? And
Nice.
1 special, so it's 5 points of damage to start. And you have 1 momentum.
And 1 momentum. All right. I don't want to reroll damage. Penetration. So disarm and 1 confidence. The character gains 1 CD morale soak. You know, change stance.
What morale soak is like armor for your, what do you call it? Armor for your mental attacks.
Let's bank it.
Bank the momentum.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, actually, because that can be used on your reaction. It only goes away at the end of the round.
Okay.
So that's basically 1 extra dice on your parry.
Nice. Okay.
Sweet. Okay. So cool. So actually, that is enough damage to take another one of them down. There are only 2 of them left right now. So okay. So for these 2 guys, I'm actually going to make a discipline check for them and see if they're actually still going to continue on, because so the willpower is 8. Yeah. Okay. So let's see if I get 1 hit on this. Yeah, they're still there. These are hard-bitten street thieves.
Desperate.
Yeah. So like they're they're furious that you've taken down their friends. However, there's only 2 of them, which means I'm only rolling 2 dice now, and the difficulty is going to be a 2 for them, because your war pick has a greater reach than what their daggers do. So let's see how they do. I got 1 hit, so they are not able to get past your defenses.
Oh yeah.
Unfortunately, your momentum goes away at the end of the round, so it goes down by 1. But now it's top of the round. Heroes go first,
All right.
unless I spend a doom, which I won't.
Oh. Okay.
I'll keep that banked for now. Okay, so what are you gonna do?
Yeah, maybe I should try to do a persuade again with a steely glare, and point my pick at them and say, "You sure you don't want to reconsider?"
Okay, here's the thing: is you're not going to do Steely Glare.
Oh yeah.
Remember Dead Man's Stare.
Nice. Elite nemesis. NPC killed in the scene. All right.
Oh, head of a toughened or yeah, has
elite or nemesis.
Yeah, which is so he's not.
Yeah.
But hold on, you killed 2 guys, so stain the red soil. Once you get
I need 3 for stain the red soil.
then it's clear what you need to do here.
Glare at them.
No, fucking kill 1 more guy.
Oh, let's kill 1 more guy. All right. Let's do that.
All right. So so Caro kind of bellows out and leaps into attack. They're going to parry again. Let's see what the difficulty is. They get 1 success, so the difficulty is 2.
Okay. Rolling. Oh, you little shit.
So I guess like seeing their 2 allies go down, they were not what do you call it? They've kept their distance from you now. But then they sort of try to keep an opening, and they're going to leap in and see if they can get you. They do. So we got 2 successes, which is enough to get. Oh, but I forgot to give you the opportunity to defend.
Sure.
So do you want to parry?
And and then my difficulty is 2, right? Is
no. Basically, what it is just every success you roll, it becomes a challenge.
Okay.
So because they're the actors, they want to do something.
Right.
Their difficulties are 1. Each success you get boosts it up for them by 1 more.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's pair it. But that's a doom for you, isn't it? Though, or
It is a doom for me. Yes.
Let's do it.
Okay. And let's do this. Okay. Go ahead and make your parry check. As long as you make 1 success, then they've missed.
All right. That's cool.
Careful, sweetie. Careful. Watch your butt.
Dice 2. Boop, boop.
No, Amy, get over here. Come on, don't. Come on. Honey, I know you want to say hi. Okay, here's a cool thing. You did get, and you got 1 momentum then. Oh, no, you got 2, which means you buff their difficulty to, no, you would have netted 1, so I think you gain 1 momentum, but it'll go away at the end of the round anyway.
So it's gone. Right.
Yeah.
So she blows, unless I can't spend it right away, can I?
You could, yeah.
Reroll damage. I can't do that.
Is there a momentum spend that allows you to recover resolve?
There's confidence, gains 1 CD morale, soak, or momentum per momentum. So, no, change stance, bonus damage. Second wind.
Second wind is the one I think I'm thinking of.
Choose the type of damage and recovers 1 point for each momentum spent in the associated capability. Let's do it.
Okay.
That makes sense.
So how does that look like? What if this is the movie version of this? What do we see happen?
All right. Let's see here. Maybe I was sort of like kind of winded a little bit from one of the attacks, and as I'm sort of struggling with one guy, I'm kind of using him to sort of obstruct the other guy while I get my breath back.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. Okay, so then top of the round, you go first unless I spend a doom, and I'm not going to spend a doom.
All right. And so there's still 2 guys there. All right. So
still 2 guys there. Yeah.
Let's hit him again. Here we go.
Okay.
Baby, just rock and roll.
Nice. And that looks like a green means you rolled a 1, which means you got 3 successes.
Nice.
Okay, so you got 3 successes.
Right.
They get a free, effectively their dagger having a parry 1, they can do a defense once. I got 1, which means you got a net of 1 momentum on this. Okay. So what do you roll damage and then decide what you want to spend your momentum on, or you can bank it for the defense.
All right. Let's roll damage here. War pick.
Ooh.
2 plus complication.
2 plus special. So you got so because it's vicious, which means you did 3 points of damage. So it's not quite enough to bring another guy down.
What if I do a bonus damage?
Then it's 4. Let's see here. 5. Still not quite enough. Not quite enough. No.
Okay, it was re-roll damage. I don't really want to do that, or do I?
Yeah, actually, that's good. That's a below average.
Is it?
Yeah, so you could try and just spend a momentum to do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Boom.
Whoa.
Noise. No.
Well, actually, you're back to what you were before. Right. Yeah, whatever.
But at least there's no one.
Yeah, so what do you call it? So there's no question as to how that would have panned out. Right. All right, so yeah, you what do you call it? You clip another guy, and he doesn't. It sort of hits him in the like the shoulder, and then clips him on the side of the head, so he's bleeding a bit at the side of the head, but he doesn't seem deterred by it. Then it is their turn. So there's 2 of them. I'm going to spend 1 doom to give them an extra dice to try and. First, do you want to defend?
I think I've defended enough. I'm gonna let
okay, so they're down to 1 doom. So they get they need to get 2 successes to be able to hit you. I rolled 1 success. So and I rolled another train, so it's not a complication. Okay. So they once again try and get in on you, and you're furiously able to keep them at a distance. Top of the round, your turn.
All
Unless I spend a doom, which I'm not.
All right.
That will never get old to me.
The suspense.
The suspense is awesome. Yeah. Okay.
All right. Well, I say to them, your moments are numbered, boys, and I'll try to take down 1 more.
Nice. That one guy you injured looks ripe for the reaping.
Pretty beat up, is he?
Oh.
Swing and a miss. They're being a little more cautious.
Yep. Okay. So or again, like one of the things I mentioned before at our other session, like it seems like, oh, I don't want to give the guy the DM doom. You really do.
Yeah.
Because it really like that's how you get momentum. That's how you really achieve. Because remember, you get to act first.
Right.
So even though, and the doom that you give me, I can't spend that round.
Right.
I can't like, oh, you gave me doom, I'm going to spend 3 to go into my resistance.
Right.
That has to wait until we finish the whatever we're resolving, and then that doom comes in.
Okay.
Okay. So just in future, because one of the difficulties, you're only rolling 2 dice. You only really technically have about 100% chance.
Right.
You should, in theory, because you're rolling 2 d20s. Your chance of success is a 10 or less.
Right.
But you know, the more dice you're rolling, the better chance you're going to get that. So,
and doom would give me an extra die.
did you roll 2 dice or did you roll 3 dice?
I just rolled the button. It said 2 dice.
Oh yeah, you want to roll. Remember 3 because of the reach.
Oh, I forgot.
The reach difference. Yeah. So go ahead and roll one more d20.
One more d20. I'll do that.
Oh, I got to roll their parry as well. You know what? Actually, they parried. So no, they didn't. Their parry's only an 8.
All right, 1 d20.
Come on. 6. Nice.
All right.
Success. Okay, so you did hit. Go ahead and roll damage.
Vicious. So vicious.
Ooh, 2 plus 1 special was 3 points of damage, which is enough to take that one guy down. Tell me what that looks like.
Booyah, Sharkies. So he's bleeding out of his eye. He's having trouble seeing. Make it look like I'm going for the other guy, and I do a slight stab to the right. It just has to get him in the rib cage, and he's down. Nice.
I'm just checking to see if a display actually requires an action or not. I can't remember if it does. Let's see here. Oh, threaten. Yeah, no, it is an attack. Okay, so you don't have the you don't have the momentum to take an extra action right now, but you can spend 2 doom to get 2 momentum.
Which would give me.
No, I don't think you can do that. No, I don't think you can do that. You have to roll the momentum. You can't just buy momentum with doom.
Okay.
But
nice idea.
let me think about that. I don't. Let me see. Let me just see, double check, because that will be something good to know going forward. Because if you could just buy an extra attack, then basically you can make it do that second action and then do your intimidate, and maybe you've ended this fight. Okay. Doom. Okay. Okay, so it's an immediate momentum spend, which is, there are certain things that are immediate. Second wind is immediate. Yeah, you cannot. Okay, so there are different ways. There are different kinds of momentum. There are certain things that are immediate, which means you can use your, what do you call it? You can use the doom to generate those. And that's for getting extra dice for things, or to take your second wind. You cannot use it for getting a swift action, unfortunately. That has to come from results. So, okay, then that means they get an attack again. So they're going to, I'm going to spend that last point of doom. No, have them attack. They miss again. Fucking terrible.
Yeah, that's
okay. So your turn. What are you going to do? Unless I spend doom, which I think I will this time. No, I won't actually. Go ahead.
At this point, I'm getting tired of this fight. This guy is just a stupid little punk. I'm not bloodthirsty or anything. I try to intimidate him. I say, "Boy, have you not learned your lesson yet?"
Okay.
End up like a friend.
Yeah, these guys aren't like, that's not likely to, because your guy's not super good at persuade. It's unlikely to be super successful unless you spend if you spend or give me 3 doom to get 3 extra dice. That means you're only 5 dice on that. Your chances of getting a success and getting momentum is better.
Yeah, like maybe I'll give you 2 doom. How about that? And then we'll.
So you're rolling 4 dice, sure. Okay.
Stay in the soil red.
Nope, you can't do that yet. Oh yeah, you did, because you killed that guy. Yes, you can. Absolutely.
Sure. All right. So do I really? So it's X equals enemy slain. So I already get 3 dice.
For the combat dice, yeah. That's how much damage. Like basically, you're rolling damage on it afterwards.
Right, gotcha. Okay.
Okay, so yeah, go ahead and make your attack. And
it's a persuade, right?
It is a persuade. Yeah.
With 4 dice.
In soil red is no. You don't use the skill of your melee attack.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the advantage of that.
Nice. All right. Well, it's so Screw it. Well, I don't really need 4 dice then, do I?
No,
Yeah.
give it because it'll
Just do it.
yeah.
Right. Rock and roll. Oh, and I still got a 0.
Holy shit! You got complications too.
Wow.
Oh, you got a complication as well too.
Stubborn little prick.
Okay, so what is that complication going to be?
Stupidity and stubbornness are siblings, said Sophocles.
There you go. So the complication will be. You know what I'm going to do is I'm going to give him basically your killing his friends and whatnot has just filled him with righteous fury. He doesn't care if he dies. He just wants to take you with him. So he's going to have some extra dice on his next attack.
Yeah.
That's what's going to come from that. So
certainly people can act like that. Yeah.
okay, so he howls at you in a language you can't understand what he's saying, but you understand fully his meaning, and he leaps in at you. So
what I could to save him.
He gets 2 successes. Did you want to? Sorry, I forgot to ask if you're going to parry.
Let's screw this little punk. Let's parry.
Okay, now I'm going to, because I'm giving you the chance to retroactively do that,
Yes.
I'm going to spend 2 doom for his thing. I'm going to roll 2 extra dice.
All right,
So let's see what he does here. Okay.
well,
Okay, so he already got 2 successes. Let's see what he else gets. And 1 more. So he has 2. No, he's only got 1 net success, which I'll give +1 to his damage. So go. He does 1, 2, 3 points of damage to you. So you take 1 resolve. So he does get through, and he kind of like you kind of picture you guys are facing off against the alley, against each other in the middle of this alleyway. He's hunched over. He's a little younger than what the other guys were. You say, your chance to flee, boy, and he kind of and leaps in at you, and there's a rough, scuffle that goes between the two of you. His blade flashing back and forth. Your pick trying to knock his arm to the side, and then you separate it again, and you've got a little cut on your face. And he kind of, now emboldened with the having drawn fresh blood, it's your turn again. So what are you going to do?
Straight up, let's just give this guy a standard stab with the pick.
Okay.
And he shouldn't be too hard to take down.
So it's 3 dice you're rolling.
And I only rolled 2 there.
Okay.
But I still got 2 successes.
No, actually, you got a crit, so you got 3 successes.
All right. Well, let's roll 1 more.
Heck yeah.
All right. Boom. No. I rolled, so there you go. So 2 of the damage now.
Oh, 18. Yeah. Okay. So, so you got 2 net successes,
okay.
which, he would have, sorry, I got to parry for him. You got 1 net success because he parried.
Right.
So, what do you, damage? So 3, it's 4 damage. It's not quite enough to take him down.
Okay.
You can spend that momentum to give an extra damage, and you know what? If you spend that momentum to take him down, which is enough. Yeah. So this, he charges in at you again, but he's clearly overconfident from the success of his last attack. Mm-hmm. So he telegraphs well ahead, and you sort of sidestep and then, end this kid's life.
Naive child. Very sad.
Yeah. Boom. And he drops to the ground. The 3 of them, the 4 of them now lie dead, bleeding in the alley. And you sort of get a moment to catch your breath. You wipe away the little bit of blood that the kid drew. Will that scar? Or is it gonna it's up to you?
It might leave a very mild mark, but it's just
yeah. So you've got your first memory of Zambula now. Mm-hmm. So okay, so now we will say that because that was the complication that you rolled when you were looking for the doctor. Mm-hmm. Did you roll a success on your society check? I'm trying to remember here.
I don't believe.
No, you didn't.
It's just a 0. Yeah.
Okay, so do you want to try that again? Try and find a doctor.
All right.
Now you can give me doom to get momentum on these as well too.
Okay. Interesting. All right. Well, so I still have my gold. And also, why don't I?
Well, you got the gold, but you need to find the doctor in order to spend that.
Right.
Also, what is society is used for? Society is used to sort of to locate merchants who sell things that you want or whatever.
Right. Okay, but why don't I also take their daggers too? Is there some swag, some booty?
Okay, so you're not in terms of downtime activities, unless you want to spend your upkeep again,
right?
Which is going to be 4. No, it'll be 3 gold now because you're renowned,
right?
Unless you want to spend 3 gold, you're not going to have an opportunity to sell those just yet.
Right. Okay. So I can just hang on to them, I guess.
Absolutely.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yep. Right. Okay. So you collect their daggers, and then
what's something?
Okay, so and then what do you want to do for your society? Do you want to show them find a doctor?
Yeah, let's do this.
Okay, so do you want to give me any doom?
That would give me a bonus die for each doom.
For each doom, up to you can roll a maximum of 5 dice, so up to 3.
I'll give you 1 doom. Give me 3 dice.
Okay.
Boom.
Nice. Oh, no, you rolled sorcery instead of
for the
society.
poop.
Sorry. So your sorcery did quite well. Hold on. You know what? If you got 2 successes on your sorcery, you rolled a 6, a 9, and a 16. What is your society skill?
My society skill is the same as my sorcery, 0.
Okay, so that means it's your. So go to the default attribute. What is that?
Personality 7.
Which 7?
Yeah.
Which means 1 success.
All right. Cool.
Your personality is only a 7,
Yeah.
and your sorcery was
A 10. My willpower is a 10. My personality is a 7.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Yes. All right. So then I'm just looking at what you rolled. You rolled a 6, a 9, and a 16, which means you've got you got 1 success, which is all you need.
All right.
Okay. So you do find a doctor. Cross off your gold. Get rid of your fatigue.
All right.
Okay. And just for if you're rolling a skill that you don't have any training in whatsoever, then you roll a complication on a 19 or a 20.
Okay.
Okay. So, all right. Okay. So you've located a doctor. You've had your first encounter with the scum and villainy. Go ahead and, if you haven't written it down too, write down 4 daggers under your equipment to make sure you can track that, because you can try and sell that loot.
Other equipment. Here we go.
Or you can use it as in combat as well too. Because actually, hold on. If you are interested, the stats for daggers are. They do 3 combat dice damage. They have a reach of 1, but they have the parrying quality. So they get your first parry in a round is free. They are hidden, which means you can spend, if you make an attack with a dagger, you can spend 1 momentum to hide it again, so no one knows that you made that attack. They can be thrown, and they are unforgiving. So if you spend your action doing a exploit action, then it does 1 extra. I think it's 1 extra damage.
Intense and vicious. Cool.
Yeah. Exploit is sort of the action that you use, like when you're going to jump out of the shadows and stab someone or whatever. Okay, so all right, so you're all healed up and fine. All right. So, but
exciting.
however, sorry.
Exciting times.
Mm-hmm. But you are unfortunately broke.
Yeah, pretty broke.
So you're, I'm guessing, looking for something to.
Time to look for work.
Okay, so you've got yourself, before you can carry on to Agrapur, or I'm not sure if your plan is to carry on to Agrapur necessarily immediately, or whether you're like, well, let's just see how things are in Zambula, and then if I can make my fortune here, great. If I can't, I'll carry on to Agrapur and then help build up my family's fortunes. You've at least started to make a name for yourself in Zambula.
Right.
So we sort of. Scene cuts. We sort of see a montage of you going around and talking to people, and trying to seek out work. And there's a lot of like, no, nothing here. But then you find we cut to you in a little in the souk, so in the market area, where there's a little coffee stand there, sweetie. Emmy, you push her over if you like, because she's taking up the whole damn couch. So it's you sitting around, and there's this really old Vendian guy. And a Vendian guy is kind of like India. So he's this quite wizened old Indian guy whose name is Amin Salini. And he's telling you about so you've sort of, he's heard your name, right, being spoken around here, and he seems to have maybe some work for a combat engineer. So you're sitting around and you're sharing this really bitter coffee that seems favored in Turan, and the rest of the marketplace is all noise and smells and then whatever else, and the coffee kind of little tent or whatever is full of a bunch of other strange and sinister looking figures who are all engaged in their own sort of deals. But he leans in and he says, "So you also are not only skilled in weaponry, you also can construct machines of war.
It is true, yes. It's a family business.
Do you have any experience with mining?
Mining. Well, I mean, it was an industry around where I grew up. I certainly knew some miners.
No, there's no mining in Kashan. You can lie about it if you want, but like Kashan,
I know of mining. But
well, no, hold on, no, you're right. No, let's back up. Yeah, that sure.
Right.
That maybe you're a merchant. You travel all over. Maybe there were miners that you.
That's so. Yeah, whatever. That's all I know. I'm not a miner. Yeah.
Then you are familiar with the types of supports needed to shore up subterranean passages.
Oh, yeah, I'm certainly a woodworker. Yep, I can do that kind of work.
Okay. Then I have a task for brave men that for which I will pay, and he gives you an amount that's really, it's 2 gold, effectively.
Okay.
It will be 1 week of travel for 2 gold. We travel to the Eastern Desert. And I'm going to flip over to the map here to show you where kind of you guys are heading. So from where Zambula is, to the east of that is the start of the Eastern Desert.
Okay.
What he says is, and he sort of leans in, there is a ruined and lost city, rumored to be out in the desert. And you can make a lore check for me if you like.
It's rock.
It's a pretty tough one for this one, but
all right, and that is awareness, boiling coordination, intelligence, lore. There we go. Doop. 2 days.
Oh, 1 crit. How many crits did you roll? Just 1. Okay, so no, you got 2 successes. Not quite good enough. You never heard. I mean, there's legends of fallen empires all across this entire world. So like the fact that you haven't heard of this one isn't maybe no. I mean, like, how do you keep track of these things? Right. Sort of. But yeah, I mean, it's you've never heard of it. But he says that he has hired 2 others, but needs a final person to secure this. If we find, or when we find this, he seems fairly confident. When we find this, we will require someone to ensure our safety when exploring its depths.
Well, that kind of work I do. Yes.
Now, in addition, oh, hey, sweetie, careful, honey, that belly. In addition to the 2 gold, any treasures that are found within this ruin are yours to divide amongst yourselves, you and the 2 others that he's hired, with 1 exception. He is given first pick of any artifacts of historical significance.
All right, well, that sounds fair enough.
Good. Then, do you require anything further?
Maybe something to eat.
Well, I'm assuming your upkeep pay has sort of covered that.
Okay.
Yeah. So you're what do you call it? You're covered with what what you need to eat and whatever. Okay, so I'm just gonna make some more tea. Do you want some more coffee?
Sure.
Yeah, I'll make some more coffee. We'll maybe take a quick
go to the washroom.
Yeah, quick break here. We'll do a bio break, get more caffeine going, and we'll dive into the Eastern Desert.
Boom.
Emily. Hi, sweetie. Emmy. What you doing? What you doing, sweetie? Hey. go, my girl. Hello, my girl. So coffee is steeping, so is the tea. Right. Oh, my girl. Oh, my girl. All right. So, yeah, so if you're on board with that, then
it sounds like fun.
Selene is willing to have you there. Plus, something that's going to put some gold in your pocket will really help, because going hungry in this world is no joke.
Gotta pay the bills.
Yeah. Let me just find the list of names here. Okay. All right. So the two other people who've been hired, there is a Hyrcanian archer named Ong.
Named Om?
Yeah, and Hyrcanians are kind of like Mongols, really. Okay. They're Asiatic kind of looking, windswept, and they've got these vicious, powerful short bows that they use. Okay, and then as well a guy who seems to be of mixed blood. He's got much darker skin than you would expect from from anyone other than someone from the. He looks like one of his parents was from the Black Kingdoms, somewhere in the Black Kingdoms, and one of his parents was maybe somewhere from either Tehran or maybe even Stygia. Tall, lean figure, but he has that sort of more like mellow brown skin rather than the dark skin that you have. And his name is Hetip. So I guess the name, it's a Stygian name. So it probably speaks to his other parentage. This guy's just a bruiser. Big tough guy who carries this wickedly curved Kopesh sword. Mm-hmm. So you guys have that moment when you meet on the morning of the trip where you do that moment of sort of sizing each other up and kind of like, Hetip just kind of, stands stoic and really doesn't want to engage in conversations. The scars on his back speak to the possibility that he may have lived as a slave at some point. He certainly doesn't look like he's a stranger to the master's whip. Mm-hmm. But he does look, some of those scars are also on the rest of his body, speak to more violent encounters where he is not in the subversive or subservient kind of role. This is the skin of a warrior. The little Ong, the little Hyrcanian guy, he's a little more chatty. So if you want to engage in any sort of chit-chatting conversation, he's happy to do so. But Salim is also really talks a lot. So when you guys arrive, he looks at your horse and your pack mule, and he's like, no, camels. You can't bring those into the desert. They will die. Camels.
Oh. All right. What do I do about that?
No. He says, allow me. He says that take the things off. So he gets you to take all the shit off your horses. He takes them away, and then he brings you back to camel.
Okay.
So
right.
Yeah. So he's there. So you load all your shit back up onto the camel.
Thanks. All right.
And so the four of you guys all mount up on camels, and you head off into the Eastern Desert. Now you have seen this before. But let me just set the tone here. So there you go. The sweeping trackless dunes of the Eastern Desert. So as you guys are traveling, so again, Selene is kind of like chatting away pretty much constantly on the entire trip. As he travels, what do you do? I guess like, are you engaging with him? Or are you engaging with?
Well, I'm exploring the world. I'm a bit naive about these parts, so I'll be chatting them up and just getting the story of their lives and the breakdown of the local sort of scene and history and so on. Just try to get fill in my schema of this general part of the world a little bit. Getting their good graces a bit.
Okay, so Selene is not from here. Let me just show you the. Selene is from Vendia. Okay. Which is, there it is way over here.
Right there in India.
Yeah. So Vendia, like that's sort of like the conceit of this is that this is like pre-continental drift
it's like
world. Yeah, that's what how Robert E. Howard sort of set it up. It's pretty fucking, it's a pretty cool setup.
Looks a lot like it, yeah.
Yeah, so in Vendia. Mm-hmm. And from the look of him and from his stories, it seems like he's incredibly well-traveled. Right. He's been all over the sort of known world, exploring. But it's not true. He seems to explore mostly in the southern regions, the southeastern regions. Mm-hmm. And he talks about how like there was once a mighty empire here, in something that would have dwarfed the might of Stygia, Aquilonia, Kitai, and Turan even as well. Mm-hmm. Just to give you a little bit of context for Turan too, if you're interested, Turan is a very powerful kingdom that's sort of built on the back of its cavalry. Cavalry is extraordinarily powerful, partly because Hyrcanians, Turan was conquered by Hyrcanians and then sort of populated by them. Hyrcanians are horse archers, like they're the Mongols. The Turan is kind of like what the Ottoman Empire would eventually become. But like the Ottoman Empire at sort of its weaker stages, it's also rife with internal fighting. So each sort of the Turan itself is made up of a bunch of different individual satrapies, which are ruled by satraps. And satraps are only Turanian nobles. It's not a requirement that they only be Turanian, but it's by custom. It's always someone who's ethnically Turanian who rules these things, but they're not always in agreement with the king of Turan. So on paper, it looks like a very powerful kingdom that could sweep out and conquer the rest of the world. But because of its rife with these internal fights, like for instance, the satrap of Zambula does not bow down to the king of Turan, who's located in Agrapur. So, but the Eastern Desert is where you guys, like where caravans cross to reach either the Stygia and Shem and some of the kingdoms in the southwestern region, or to go further north into the Hyborian kingdoms like Aquilonia and Argos and Zingara. But the, so that's sort of a little bit of the background that he provides for what's going on. Mm-hmm. Now, as you're talking to Selene, I guess an Ong also constantly kind of chirps in with, they were Harkinians. They were Harkinians.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I am Groot. All right.
Yeah. Ooh, yeah. So very powerful. So, as you guys are making your way across the desert, there's constantly these pauses where Selene says, "Oh, wait," and then he'll ride off his camel off into the distance towards some like really on the edge of the horizon, distant rocky outcropping that he'll go to, and he'll examine, and then he'll ride back, and he'll have made some notes, and he won't say anything about what he saw there. I'm like, okay, carry on. This goes on for about 2 days of this, and the what's his name, Hatip, the big thing finally speaks, and he says, "If I was meant to nursemaid an old man, I would have not accepted this. Where is the challenge?"
Well, the challenge may be coming, my friend.
And he kind of glares at you with his, and you notice now that he's actually got those kind of weird amber-colored eyes that some Stygians have. Mm. So he's got this really freaky kind of look with his darkened skin and his amber eyes. He also has his hair sort of curled or tied into kind of like cornrows that go short and back and are tied down. He sort of glares at you and then, pretends not to see you and just looks out nothing in the horizon.
One must not wish for trouble. Trouble will come soon enough.
Nah. not soon enough. And then, no, actually, Ong would say this. He says, ha, not soon enough for that one. And he spins around and Hatip says, careful, Harkanian. So I'll leave your bones to bleach in this desert. And the Harkanian kind of, smiles and says, you'll have to catch me first, big man. And do you want to diffuse this or you want to let them play it out a little bit?
All right, gentlemen, enough. Let's focus on getting to our destination.
Okay. Remember, this is the Hyborian. Think of less of like civilized times, less of like, what a typical fantasy thing is. This is sword and sorcery. This is blood and steel and muscle and gristle.
Talking to the old man.
Yeah. So if you want to put keep these seasoned vets in line, you may need to show a little more iron.
Okay. Nice. Enough.
Nice.
Fools.
Okay. Yeah.
Let's go.
They sort of. Why don't you make let's see here. I think it's a persuade check. Let me take a look here.
No.
Character sheet. But I think I'm just trying to decide if there's a skill that would apply here. Personality. Command. Yeah.
Command.
Oh, so your personality is balls. So.
Definitely balls. Really smelly.
Do you want to give me any doom to
balls?
try and increase that?
No. All right. Yeah, we'll go with 1. I'll do 1.
Okay.
3 dice.
I'm gonna
0. 0 command. You're not paying attention to me.
Okay, so
it's the old man's group. He can whip him in the shade.
So I'm just moving the doom pool over here. Okay, so give me how many? You give me 1?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So they look like they're both collectively ready to sort of like bring you in on this. To be honest, the Ong may just be doing this to cause shit. But you get the sense that Hatip is really starting to like, this guy's got a pretty short fuse. So he kind of, glares back at you once again with those amber eyes. And that's around the time when Celine comes back. And he says, I believe we're getting close.
Thank goodness.
Okay. So,
this desert sun is parching my head.
Yes. So this goes on for about another 2 more days.
Mm-hmm.
When Selene rides off and rides back, and when it's where he rides out, and then he's like, "Come!" from like way off on the horizon. Come.
Right.
Okay, so you guys
we go
riding out across the dunes on your camels. That's my camel sound. He says, "Look," and there's this rocky outcropping that's there, and you see he's drawn a little like sable hair brush or something like that, and he's pointing at something, and he seems like to be just trying to get all of you guys to come down. Hatip has no interest in seeing whatever the fuck it is. He doesn't care. He stays on the camel. Ong sort of like trots over on his camel and kind of looks down. Do you do the same?
I guess I'll follow suit. Yeah, I don't really know what I'm doing.
So you walk over and he says, look, and he's pointing at some very, very faint markings on the outcropping. It's faint hashes and squiggles that are like barely discernible on the ages old stone. He says, this is it. We are close.
Wow. Very excited. It's real.
Yes. Yeah, so he says that we're very close now. This is good. Hatip then says something in Stygian that you don't understand, but you take to be it's a curse effectively. And you sort of look over and you look off in the direction, like you see to him, and he's looking out into the desert. And you look out into the desert, and what you see is a darkened sky. And you notice now the air around you is deathly still. The wind has been seemingly blowing constantly across these dunes as you've been riding across them.
Right.
But you can see that all across the horizon to the south, from where Hatip is looking, there is a purplish black wall shot through with angry flashes of lightning. A sandstorm.
Oh, good. Right.
So the Celine kind of says, "No, cover, find cover."
Mhm.
And okay, so your camel kind of sees or sort of senses what's happening. So it's not, this where you are is not going to suffice it. So
I guess you have to cut open the camels and hide inside them.
Yeah, really. So what are you? So basically, what the other guys are doing is they're turning and trying to ride off towards this fairly distant outcropping that they see to try and get to that. Now, what you will need to do is make a animal handling test. And this is going to be a challenging one. So you'll need 2 successes to succeed on this to get there before the sandstorm hits you.
Animal handling. There it is. Another personality one. Great.
Do you want to give me some doom for this?
I guess I better give you a doom. And I need 2 successes, eh?
You do, yeah.
I guess I better give you 2 doom.
Okay.
Right, rock and roll. 4 dice. Here we go, baby.
Nice.
Right.
Awesome. Okay, so you're, you've never really, well, I don't know. You tell me. Have you been on a camel before?
Not really. No.
No. Okay. So you're sort of like, whacking this thing with this stick, like go, and it's sort of trotting along. You don't feel like you're moving. You're probably moving at a decent clip, but like not as fast as you feel you could have been moving on your horse. And you can hear now the Mad Max, what do you call it? Storm that hits. That's what's bearing down on you right now. Right. That giant snow. You saw the most recent Mad Max film, right? Yeah. So that's what.
Remember that? Yeah.
Thunder Road. So that's just not Thunder Road. What was it called?
Thunder Road.
Fury Road. Yeah. So it's bearing down on you, and you can hear now the crash of thunder and the roar of the storm and the sand. So you. As you're going along, I need you to make an observation check for me, please. And this is going to be because you can see that you're riding along. Well, let's see if you notice this. This is going to be a fairly difficult check too, so I'm not sure if you want to give me more doom or you just want to roll your observation.
Observation. Let's see. It's very difficult, eh? Where is my observation? Here it is. So I have 11 awareness, but I have no activities of focus.
Or you can spend a fortune point.
I'll give you 1 doom.
Okay.
2.
Close.
Really?
Yeah, not quite good enough.
That's pretty tough, all right.
Yeah, it was. Well, you can picture that there is just like sand and whatever else, and but what you realize is that where the hell is Salim? Salini? He's gone. It's just the 3 of you guys bearing down. Let me see how the other 2 guys do in terms of their thing. So. Yeah, I'm just gonna roll. You need 2 successes for it. Okay. So one of the guys got a complication. So their camel maybe hits something or just takes a wrong turn and it bucks and sends them off.
Okay.
And then the other one doesn't make their in time either. So. Let's see here. Do you want Hetep to be evens or odds?
He could be evens.
Evens? Odds means Ong is thrown off.
Okay.
Damn camel! He's flown off. So Hetep manages to make it to the cover, as do you. So there's some nearest boulders. Now, once you reach there, your camels do not want to fucking stay there. They're just mad with panic and they want to just run off. So what I need is another animal handling test to secure your mounts, or they're gonna get off and run off. You're trying to hunker down in there. Let's see how Hetep does. Hetep's camel is going. So would you make a animal handling test?
Okay.
If you generate momentum, you can try and grab Hetep's camel as well.
Okay. I'll give you 1 doom. My goodness, rack up the doom here. Whoa!
Nice. Nicely done. Okay, so you can grab.
That helps.
Yeah. So what do you call it? You keep yours under control, and you see Hetep is he's again cursing and stitching at this thing. And this thing slips out of his grip. Maybe because he was getting ready to hit this thing with his sword. So he went for his sword and it kind of slips out of his grip, but you jump forward and wrap your arm around it and you pull this thing back, and actually playing into your strength too. Like you wouldn't think that you would be able to keep these things under like such fierce control, but you do. Hatip maybe like
lucky.
You got a little bit of grudging respect from Hatip at this point. He's still fucking furious at this animal, and he's furious that you did something he couldn't do, but he's a little bit more respectful of you. So he jumps in and helps you and gets it under control.
Right.
Now, so this, which means also like all your supplies and stuff like that are still with you. That is the same cannot be said for Ong's camel. Now, all right. So the storm comes. Okay, I need to make a test for Ong out in the desert. Oh God. All right. So Ong has taken some damage from the winds. And oh yeah, fish after. Ooh. Yeah. Okay, so sorry, I'm just reading to see what the difficulties are. All right. So basically, you the sandstorm, you are hunkered down against these boulders, you and Hatip, for a few hours. Like it seems like forever. You know, it's just and this, you can't express just how horrible this is too. Like it's blowing blind sand everywhere. It gets in your, you know, you got presumably like some kind of fabric
wrapping yourself up.
Yeah, to keep it too. But like if you know, at one point maybe you open your eyes just for a split second, and it's just like full of grit right now, and you're terrified to open it again to get more in there.
Right.
So it's just this blinding, you know, and the constant sound of the howling and the pain of it, you know, flensing against your skin. This seems to go on forever. And then there's suddenly and it's gone. And the storm has passed. And you guys kind of open, and in spite of your efforts to keep yourself unburied, you know, you can sort of picture that you're still like, you know, buried up to maybe like your shins in sand, because it's just, you can't, you know. So you stand up, and as you stand, like there's a bunch of sand that just sloughs off you, and you look around at your surroundings, you and Hatip, and you can see the dunes tracking out, and there are the landscape has, I mean, it would be difficult to tell the difference necessarily, but it's been completely rewritten. There are dunes where there were rocky outcroppings before, and there are outcroppings that were buried previously, now exposed by the sandstorm.
Like if we weren't buried. Yeah.
So you guys are sort of looking around across this trackless desert, and then you hear sort of, and you look over and you see this small Hyrcanian form kind of dig himself out from the sand. Because he got really like basically full on buried. He shakes, and like sand comes out of his mustache, and he curses in Hyrcanian. He says, "Did you see where that damn camel went? I'm going to shoot it."
You may not have to.
And he looks around. Where is that old man? I'll settle for shooting him. And you look around, and there's not any
there's no old man.
Where the fuck is Salimi?
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Salimi.
So would you make a observation check for me, please? Again, I'll make it for Ong and for Hatip as well. Ong is not doing well. Hatip, nope. Hopefully you're gonna
2 observations.
Nice. Okay, great. So the two of them have no fucking clue. They're like, where are we? At this point, Ong is sort of walking over to the boulders where you guys are, and the boulders are mostly buried in sand at this point as well too. It's only been your effort to sort of like keep sloughing shit off that has kept you guys, a little alcove sort of exposed here with you and your camels. The camels seem back to normal again too. You notice that there is an outcropping, probably about another one of these outcroppings. And this one has maybe this is in the course of your conversation with. I'm stealing something from. Okay, it's in Prometheus, but I actually heard it in Man Tracker first.
Okay.
Where there's no straight lines in nature.
Right. Yeah.
So you, what do you call it? When you see something, and what you see is there's a level outcropping. It looks old, same kind of old, dark stone that you saw before, and it's off about maybe half a kilometer off across the desert.
All right.
And you look. That's the only thing you can notice. And like at this point, you don't know where you've come from, so you're not even sure if that's like back in the direction where you were or whatever. The only thing you know is where the sun is at this point, I suppose. Okay. Actually, you know what? Why don't you make a perception check, and I'll give you a bonus dice on that because of your merchant. Like you're used to sort of keeping track of where you are. So I imagine even before the sandstorm hit, you would have at least had a rough idea of where you were and where you ran.
Okay. Yeah, it's a sense of direction. I've got that.
Yeah.
2.
Nice. What was your observation you rolled? Or is that what I asked you to roll?
You said perception, but there is observation.
Oh, that's what I want. Yeah. Observation. Sorry, you're right. Okay, so basically what you think is that you were at this location, right? And then the sandstorm came in from the south, and then you fled away from it, so presumably north. And looking where the sun is right now, you think that's back to the south again. So maybe that is sort of back in the direction, at least roughly the direction where you ran from. So,
well, I guess we'll run with our instincts here and see what happens.
Okay. So you make your way over there. The it makes a play for basically like says, "This is not natural. Hercanians do not walk; we ride. This is cruel. One of you, give me your camel."
I'm not giving you my camel.
Hetip is having none of that. No fucking way. So you're gonna.
I'll keep riding my camel.
Yeah. Okay. So Ong just sort of keeps.
You can ride on the back of my camel with me if you like.
He's sort of like women ride side saddle.
Yeah, your call.
And we sort of like we sort of like the scene sort of cuts, and you see him sulking on the back of your camel as you're bouncing along to get there. I was gonna grab my tea, and there's more coffee if you like as well.
Sure.
Okay, now let's pour at your leisure here. There we go. Love this licorice tea.
I'll have to try that.
If it isn't explicit, you're always welcome to have any of those teas instead of the coffee too.
Thanks, man.
Yeah. Okay. So what you find as you ride over to this outcropping is you see that there is it looks like it's actually some kind of like there's this flat stone thing that it stands about actually probably close to your eye line is the top of it, and it goes down, and then there is an opening, a big darkened opening that leads down, and then the sand it's mostly buried by sand, but there's a little bit of another one on the other side as well too. And as you ride up and look down, there are steps leading down beneath the sand.
I look to my companions. I raise my eyebrows to see what they think.
Would you make another observation check for me too? And I'll make checks for. Oh, nope.
Come on.
Oh, nice. Okay, actually, Hetip just rolled a crit on his, so he got 3 successes.
Okay, next.
So yeah, you and him both notice there are footsteps on the thing, and you look at them, and you can't. I don't think you rolled quite well enough to know any information about them too, but Hetip certainly did. He just sort of speaks again. The old man's footprints.
Really?
He nods as if like, why would you like? He gives that kind of like, why would you question me?
I won't.
So
all right. Well, interesting. I guess the old man found a shelter then. Let's see what he's up to.
You know what? Let's see here. Why don't you make a survival check for me, please?
Mm-hmm. 2. What's up?
Oh, sweet. Yeah, so there was a lag on mine. Oh, we didn't plug your... Oh, you did. Yeah, okay, great. Okay, yeah. You're not sure that this would have been exposed before the sandstorm hit. And you're fairly certain that if the sandstorm was here, those footprints that are in the sand in there, they would have been obscured. Because it's not like on the top going down. It's down in it. Like, so there's a little bit of shelter there. But, yeah.
Okay, well, I'll just say that just to cover up for the old man a little bit, and then we'll figure out what he's actually up to.
Okay. So what are you going to do then?
Well, let's follow the old man down. We don't want him to get all the good stuff.
Okay. Now, I'm assuming that, excuse me, well, first off, like, obviously this game is about, guys playing, or guys and girls playing men and women who are human.
Right.
No dark vision in this game whatsoever.
Right, okay.
Which is one of the reasons why I fucking love it.
All right, yeah. Hard fantasy, like hard sci-fi.
Fucking love it.
Yeah.
I love it because that's dark vision is honestly one of the things for a guy who loves running horror themed things. Dark vision is just such a fucking pain in the ass.
It ruins everything. Yeah, exactly.
Well, it doesn't ruin it. I mean, like, it just means I have to come up with other ways. But like, it's very hard to keep shit hidden in the darkness because you can see everything. So love that this doesn't have that. But anyway, hello, sweetie. It's you. Good girl. All right. So, what do you say? What do you?
I say, has anyone got a light?
Yeah. When you guys all have, I'm assuming you have torches.
Okay.
Well, yeah, you have torches for the 2 of you.
I say to them, well, you don't want the old man to get all the goodies, do you?
That certainly speaks to their mercenary base. They sort of like look at each other and they're like, yeah. So they hop off. Ong is, because he uses a bow and he's got his bow out, he's not really going to be able to carry the torch. If you're using your spear, that's a 2-handed weapon for you, so you're not going to be able to carry the torch. But Hatip uses a Kopesh in one hand, so he could be the one who's carrying it. Sure. He's taller than all of you guys anyway, so.
After you, Hatip.
Okay, so you first get outside. You set up the little thing. You secure the camels. I don't know how you secure camels in the desert, so I'm assuming there's some kind of spike or something involved, but I mean, like, it would be down in the sand, so it would be pulled out. I don't know. Your camels are secured somehow. And you guys begin making your way down into the depths. So, as you step down into the city beneath, the weather thus far has been like a incredibly uncomfortable, like 30 to 35 above Celsius for those Americans listening at home. So it's been just sweltering. As you step down in here, there's like a 15-degree difference immediately. So you step down and it's wow, but because of that level of pressure change, it's a little bit relieving, but it's a little bit, there's that first initial acclimatizing moment where it just feels cool. And as you step down, you can hear your footsteps echoing out. And it seems to be echoing for quite some distance. Like, it's that kind of echo that gets lost, down. And the extent of the illumination that comes from Hatip's torch only reveals just more corridor. So as you guys make your way down, sort of the stairs go down and then it sort of turns and it follows down, and the width of this staircase is probably about maybe about 10 feet. Like, it's quite large. Like, it accommodate people quite comfortably moving back and forth, and then it goes down. Once you make it to the bottom, you see that it sort of arches out in like a Y kind of passage where, like, one bit goes off in one direction, same sort of width of corridor. The corridors themselves are 6 to 7 feet tall. So Hatip really kind of is carrying his torch, I guess, like this, because he's very, in some places, you're actually having to hunch and like walk underneath some stuff. How tall is Kaharo? You
let's
think?
see. We knew that. It's not on here, eh? Yeah, Caro's, he's not super tall, but he's sizable, 5'11" type thing,
Okay. So you are, like I said, there's two sort of passages. There's one leading up in one direction that seems to be about 12 feet across, wide, and it's going along. And then there is another passage to your right that seems about 10 feet across. Now, the ones that are to your right, it seems like it goes down, and there are entries into other passages as you go down. And to your left, it seems like there are alcoves in the side that run from the floor all the way up to the ceiling, almost like, and they're quite long alcoves as well too, like long enough to accommodate a person lying down. Okay.
Yeah.
So what?
Catacombs.
The steps, so the footsteps continue in the direction to the right, towards where the other, like the corridor that seems to lead to other chambers.
I turn to the other guys and I say, the old man almost seems to know where he's going.
The Ong says, "Is that good or bad?"
I don't know.
He sniffs. "I smell sorcery in this place."
Yeah, probably.
So, what do you guys want to do?
Well, I mean, I guess seeing as how he didn't think we were going to follow him, I don't think he's trying to lead us into a trap or anything, or he wouldn't have brought us, so we may as well just follow him.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you start making your way down, and you're heading down in that direction, and it is so what you find is that at sort of regular, the first one you reach to, it's sort of at regular pacing. You get to a point and you look in, and you see there are steps leading down into a square chamber. Let me just see what you find in there. You think in the sort of on to the right, the steps leading down into this chamber are on the right side of the chamber. Like you can, looking in, it stretches out to your left and then deeper in, and whatever carvings and so forth were on the wall have faded with time and the weight of innumerable centuries. But sitting on the sort of middle to the right, there's a pile of what looks like they may be bones.
Okay. Just a pile of bones.
It's a pile of bones.
Right.
So you're not, you have to get a little closer to actually inspect them.
Let's inspect them.
Okay. So you start stepping forward, and Ong says, "Wait, what are you doing?"
I stop, I look back. I was just going to inspect the bones.
He says, like just a disapproving kind of grunt, and at which point, effectively, Hatip just says, like, "Grow some balls."
These are my spear, and I sort of poke over at them.
Okay. So using with the flickering light that's cast by Hatip's torch, you sort of poke at these things, and you see that these bones are broken and split, as if they had been gnawed upon.
Okay. It looks like there might be some animal life down here.
Can you make a perception or an observation check for me again, please? Okay.
Ooh.
Nice. Okay, so you all sort of hear this at the same time. You can hear a from somewhere off in the direction from where you came.
Uh-oh. We all look at each other.
Okay, so you step out of the chamber,
Right.
and you sort of are looking off, and it's coming off from the darkness.
Doesn't sound
And
good,
then
guys.
suddenly it hits, and there is a carpet of beetles all making their way towards you. So we're in combat now. These things are at, they're one zone away. You can spend a minor action to move one zone to another zone.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm rocking 5 Doom right now, so I'm gonna start spending some of that by going first.
Sure.
So we'll have this beetle swarm go first. It goes charging in. and you realize as well, shit, they're coming out of the walls.
Everywhere. All right, nice.
Okay, and let's see here. Their combat. Okay, so they get a swarm attack with a reach of 1. So I'm just going to roll against you, and then I'll just sort of abstract what happens to Hatip and to Ong. In future, what I'll do is I'll set them up as NPCs, so you guys can control basically their effects if they live. All right, so let's see here. Yeah, so the difficulty is going to be a 3 to try and hit you. Do you want to do any defense here?
Difficulty to 3 to hit us, eh?
Yeah.
I don't need to give you much more doom. No, I think that's all right.
You're good? Okay, so we'll see how they do. All right. Yeah, I'm going to spend some doom because I want this to be an opening scary thing. And I need to use up some of this doom. So I've got 2 dice right now. I'm going to use 2 more of my doom to... I think someone's got a crush on you there, Steve.
Yeah.
Hey, sweetie pie? Good girl. Say we do. All right, we got 1, I think 2... combat 2... No, actually only... So 2 successes, which means it's enough to hit you, and I got 1 momentum as well. Which I'll just add to damage. So these things are swarming in. You're doing your best to sort of like sweep these things away, but you realize they're coming from behind as well. And they do, it's 3 points of damage. So 3 dice plus 1 to you. You take 1, 2, 3 points of damage. Oh, it's piercing 3.
Oh, wow.
So you're basically, that's 3 points of damage straight on to your damage. Yeah, ignores your armor.
Okay,
like, they're getting underneath you.
Good to know. All right.
All right. And the same thing with Hatip and Ong.
Right.
Ong is just like casts his bow aside and whips out this little scimitar looking thing that he what would they use? It's effectively like a scimitar. It's a curved sword. So
how are they reacting to fire?
Interesting choice. So here's what you could do is that brandish brandish flame thing, right?
Yeah.
So let's see here.
Yeah. Flaming brand.
Flaming brand, thank you.
Survival.
So flaming brand, you hold an object. So a Hatip has that. As long as you, because basically Hatip can do it each turn. And it's got stun quality too, which is pretty cool. And it's vicious. So yeah, Hatip will definitely do that. Good call. So what are you gonna do? You get to act, or you can have Hatip act first, or you can have them act first.
I say Hatip, the fire.
Okay. He actually doesn't seem super phased by this.
Okay.
Wait, are these things fearful? No. Okay. All right. So he is going to. Oh, yeah, they got a shit ton of courage. So he's going to try and use the flaming brand, which is a survival check. So let's see for him. Got a crit. So he gets 3 successes on it. So I think he'll. So 1 + 2 for the second one. You know what? He will roll damage on this, and then he'll see what. 3 points of courage, which actually doesn't, like, these things are not phased by this whatsoever.
Okay, they're just stupid beetles.
Yeah, they're just fucking like starving, or who knows. So for his, you know what, he'll dump the momentum into the pool.
Okay.
That's what he's gonna do. So you got 3 momentum rocking in the pool right now. So nice. two momentum.
All right.
Give me. Wrong. Okay. Do you want Ong to go first, or go next, or do you want to go next?
And I guess I got my spear. Keep him at distance.
You're gonna have extra dice from using the spear against these things for sure.
All right. And let's stab at a few. So seeing as though the fire didn't work, I guess we gotta.
Okay. So you have there's 2 momentum in the momentum pool that you can draw from.
Okay. So I could take 1 die and for the attack maybe.
Yeah, so because your reach will give you 2 extra dice, and then the 1 momentum puts it to the max of 5.
Okay, sure. And so I just put 5 in for the dice, right?
That's right. Yeah.
All right, let's get your kids. Come on, 3 dice and a green. All right.
Nice.
All right.
Okay.
Here's where the momentum starts going. All right.
Okay. Oops, what's going on here? I'm not sure. There we go. Jeez, there was a lag there. Great. Okay, so you actually got 4 successes. You only needed 1, which means you got 3 momentum to do just to play with here.
All right.
So let's roll damage first, and then see how that plays out.
I 0 modifier. Bow 1 and a thing.
Oh, you rolled the war pick. Where you,
okay.
Yeah. So you want to use your spear.
Good. Glad to hear it. Nice.
Whoa, nice. Okay, so 4. Okay, so you're doing 4 damage to these things. What is their armor? Fuck. Because they're just right now, you don't look like you've done anything. Like you can't tell you've done any damage to them. So
with 4 damage, eh?
Yeah, because they're just like they're so diffused and they're so there's just so many little fuckers. Do you want to spend? You can spend momentum to do more damage on a 1-for-1 basis, which would go through it. Oh wait. Oh, he didn't roll an effect. Shit. This is where piercing really becomes useful because right.
Yeah.
So what do you want to do? Take a look at your momentum spends there and see what you want to.
I took 1 from the pool. I could put 1 back and use 2.
Yep.
You're telling me a secondary target's not going to do much.
No, because half damage would like doubly not go through their armor.
What about a called shot and try to stab one in the mouth?
I don't think that you can. Like they're beetles, right? Like they're only about like yay big. It's just that there's a whole fucking swarm of them.
Let's add 2 damage.
Nice. Okay, so yeah, you managed to sort of like you realize the first strike with it doesn't do much. You're sweeping them like a broom almost, and you're starting to scatter some of them. That seems to be doing something.
Nice. All right.
Okay, which means how much goes back into the momentum pool?
1 goes back in the momentum pool.
Okay. Do you want Ong to make use of that?
He can do as he pleases. Yes.
Okay. So why don't you roll? Just roll. He'll use all 2 and roll 4. What do you call it? 4 d20s for me.
2, 3, 4. Pow! Nice.
So 1, 2, 3 hits. Okay.
Nice.
Which means you need 1. You know what? Roll 1 extra because he's a sword has reach over these things.
Okay.
No, not good enough. Okay, so he gets 3 hits, which means he's got 2 momentum to play with. Do you want to dump that back in the momentum pool, or do you want to? The momentum pool will go down by 1 at the end of the round, but it will. That means you would start the round with 1 momentum in it.
Right. Okay. I see. Like, well, so he's got 3. How much?
Let's see how much damage he does here. He does 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and an effect, which is vicious. So 6 points of damage, which means he's starting to scatter some of these things too.
All right, that's good. I guess
he's probably stomping on them as well too. I'm sort of picturing like,
right,
hopping around,
madly crushing everything.
Yeah. So he, you know what? To be honest, he could spend those 2 points and it may basically like defeat this swarm.
Oh, spend 2 points to defeat the swarm?
Yeah.
By all means, please do. Yes.
Okay, so you guys are out of momentum, but through the
he goes crazy and madly starts.
Yeah. So everything. Between the 3 of you guys stomping around and slashing at these things, once they get the initial bites in, you yeah. Oh.
Yeah. Oh. But they did rip me up pretty good. Those things got some big pincers on them.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Now let me see here. I'm just going to double check. I can't remember if your vigor recovers at the end of the encounter, or whether you need to make some kind of rest or something for it. I'm just going to check that. I think it's at the end of the encounter, but let me see. Where's it here? Conditions. Recovering from damage. At the end of the action scene. So, yep, you're... Go ahead and take all your vigor off.
Oh, really? Nice.
Yep. You didn't take a wound, so yeah, you're. So that was a scary thing. But you hear sort of a low, there's a rumbling from further down the tunnel.
More trouble.
And at that point, you sort of it dawns on you like, holy shit, this is going to collapse.
Oh wow!
Like back where the beetles came from, it's going to collapse.
Scheiße. Boys.
Okay, so you
better clear out.
you sort of say something that affected, and you sort of move back, and then there's this horrible, loud crashing, and this wall of dust, very similar to the to what hit you before. The torch, right? Flutters, doesn't quite go out because Hatip sort of like crouches it around and protects it with his body a little bit, so it doesn't quite go out. But then it sort of it lights up again, and you can see that the air is full of this dust and stuff like that. You take a couple steps back, and you see that where you came in has collapsed.
Uh-oh.
Yeah,
that's bad news.
The Hatip, in his fatalistic way, says, "So this will be our tomb."
Perhaps, but maybe we can find our way through it.
Okay, so what are you guys going to do?
Well, boys, we can either dig or we can keep looking. What do you want to do?
The Ong says, "I am a Harkinian warrior. I do not dig."
All right then. Guess we're looking around.
All right. So now you can continue on. You continue on in the direction you've been going, and you see that there are a bunch of these galleries, and actually it goes on for quite some distance. Like you've been to the point where it would be like the equivalent of like city blocks after city blocks of distance. You're walking down and more of these things. And I'm going to see here. Oops. Okay. Okay, so as you're making your way through the corridor, you then sort of at the edge of your vision, or the edge of where the light reaches. Are you taking time to look into each of these galleries as well? The footsteps seem to carry on in the direction the direction of this tunnel.
I guess you will. Now we got no choice. Yeah, we got to find the old man. Yeah.
Okay, so you're making your way along, and you're sort of keep looking in, and then you sort of you stop, all three of you, because you see at the edge of your vision there is some kind of form there, something hunched.
Look at the other guys. Yeah. And do they seem to see if they recognize anything?
They look. You're not quite close enough to see what it is right now.
All right. Shall we look? He's got the torch, the brave warrior. Yeah.
He sort of grips his kopesh and says, just gestures for you, like you take the lead.
All right, well, I'll use my spear at full length.
Okay. He's walking with you as well, too. At this point, it's crouched down to about 6 feet tall. And so you're sort of hunched over, the ceiling is brushing you to the top of your head. You make your way over, and as the light gets a little closer, you can see that this is a hunched over skeleton. Only this is not a humanoid skeleton. The skeleton has a long tail running out the back. It is more the spine is more curved and hunched over. The end of the fingers, the bones seem much more clawed, and the head is a blunt, kind of triangular shaped animalistic skull of some kind. And you can see that there is a corroded short sword that is in a completely, what looks like what may have been a scabbard at its side. So there's this thing, and the design elements on it are not something that you necessarily recognize.
Do you recognize this? I say to the other guys.
Actually, Hatip might. No. On, you have to be a crit. No. They sort of both shake their heads.
All right. What's the shape of the skull?
The shape is kind of a. In our world, you would think it would be like an alligator-shaped skull.
Right.
Yeah, so with a blunted sort of triangular, rough triangular shape, but with a blunted end on it.
The heck is that?
A mouthful of vicious-looking teeth as well, too.
All right, guys. Well, all kinds of strangeness down here.
So, what do you want to do?
So I guess everything, it hasn't got any equipment that's worth keeping. And there's no trails leading away from it or anything.
Can you make an insight check for me, please?
Inciting. 2.
Nice. Okay, great. Yeah. You sort of look at this thing and you look over at the walls. Like I said, the carvings on the walls are faded and covered in dust and grime and whatever else. But you walk over to a point nearest where Hatip is carrying his torch, and you sort of wipe away the centuries of dust and cobwebs and whatever, and you can see a rough outline of hieroglyphics on the side. And what you see is savage-looking lizard men, or depicted on these walls. And you sort of look, and you look around at the other walls, the other side, and though they're still concealed as well, you realize now that this is what litters the walls in here, is carvings of this forgotten, degenerate race of some kind of lizard lizard people. And it dawns on you that you are trapped in their city. Some kind of forgotten race in a city forgotten by time with no name. That's where you find yourself.
This
So
is what these were. Well, yeah. This is archaeologically interesting.
yeah.
All right. Well, guys, looks like we better learn how to read hieroglyphics pretty fast so we can find the exit. Look for an exit sign.
Okay. So you make your way along, and you reach an intersection where the corridor you're walking along carries on straight, and then to your left, there's another one of those slightly smaller. The corridors you're in are about 12 feet across. It's maybe about 8 feet across. And then in the walls again, there are all those alcoves, and you see a glint of metal as you pass by. The light catches something in there. So look over. Do you take a moment to investigate them?
Yeah, we'll stealthily take a look there. Yeah.
Okay. So you make your way up into that corridor, and you realize that as you're walking over and the light casts it, all along these walls are crypts. It's basically like alcoves that there are more of those like lizard man skeletons that are stuck into the walls from the floor to the ceiling. And would you make an awareness check for me, please?
Awareness check. Awareness. That's just straight up awareness. Got it.
Yep.
Yeah. Nice.
Whoa, awesome. You're gonna get 1 momentum.
Hey,
Difficulty
right.
was only 1. Cool. So you're walking in, and then as you're stepping closer to that, there's almost like an invisible wind that hits you, and the when like you get that sensation where someone is just hostile towards you, or like if there's someone who you don't get along with and you're forced to be in the room with them the whole time, you can just feel their presence that whole time, even if you're not acknowledging them. That wave of antipathy just hits you as you step closer to this thing, and you know you are not wanted here. So then I need you to make a discipline test for me, please.
Discipline. I'm out of here. I run through the walls.
Yeah.
Where is discipline? Here. Okay, that's something I can do. One.
Okay, so you hear as well, along with that wave of antipathy, you hear almost like from somewhere far off, and you don't know what direction, something screams in a distant place in a language you cannot understand, with a tongue that you don't recognize and is certainly inhuman. It cries out, and you are hit with a wave. And let me see here what happens. Okay. Oops. Let's see here. You hear sort of as it hits you, you hear scraping. Something scraping off in these crypts, and you realize with horror that some of these skeletons, these saurian skeletons, are beginning to stand, weapons in hand, and wordlessly kind of their jaws open wide.
Right.
So we are in combat.
Right. We're just looking for the exit, guys. We're passing through.
All right. So heroes go first unless I spend Doom. I'm not spending Doom.
All right.
So you guys can go ahead and make your first action.
Oh, crap.
Who do you want to go? Do you want one of the other guys to go first?
Yeah. Yeah. Let's do it. Additional actions. So you can charge.
Dust drops from these things as well too. They seem like you would expect, dry and
This place is not for mortal men.
So you can go first, or you can have Ong and Hatif go first.
I wonder if you should just run for it and try to see if we can keep running after the old man's footsteps and leave these things behind.
Sure.
Yeah.
You could try that. I mean, okay.
Let's see. Let's see how fast they are. Maybe they can't catch us.
Okay. Yeah. So you turn and you run, and you start running. Which way are you running? Down this corridor where all the crypts are, or back to where you came towards the direction?
Can we see the old man's footsteps anymore?
The old man's footsteps are actually carrying down in this direction towards through the crypts.
Well, if he went this way, screw it. Let's go and don't touch anything.
I think that unless you give me Doom, I think that they're going to get. I've got 2 Doom. I can make at least 2 attacks on you guys.
You can do that first, yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
No, not do that first. Like when you take reactions, you have to give me Doom.
Okay.
When NPCs take reactions, I have to spend Doom to do that.
Okay.
They can't just do it. They have to.
Right.
Yeah. So in this case, I've got 2 Doom still, so I could spend 2 Doom to make at least 2. It's called retaliate. So one of the reactions, your 3 reactions are defend, which is you're trying to protect someone else in the party.
Right.
There's parry, which is you're protecting yourself in the party, and retaliate, which is someone's trying to move away without taking that withdraw action.
Right.
Remember you were asking before about or you used before that 1 momentum spend to run back.
Right.
Yeah, that's what you can do, or not. So withdraw. Withdraw. If you do that, they don't get to retaliate, but otherwise, right? Yeah.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. Yeah.
Okay.
Do you guys seem okay with the idea of running?
I think, I mean, they're going to kind of follow your lead here.
Right.
I think so. If that's what you say, just that these things do get to take pot shots, or may take pot shots at 2 of you.
Sounds dangerous, but well, let's see. How many of these things are there that have gotten up? Or are they all getting up?
No, there's about 5 of them.
That's right. 5. Maybe we can handle 5.
Because this is the first time we're playing too. Well, no, that's not the first time we're playing, but we're still, we're still new to the game. I will let you know that these things are minions.
Okay. Well, so I was thinking about running. I'm looking at I'm a little worried about traps in the catacombs. So
That is a very reasonable concern.
Yes.
And,
running may not be all that wise. I guess we better face our doom here. Okay, let's find it. Now, I'm looking both ways. I'm indecisive. I say screw it. I lunge forward and I charge these things.
Okay. Okay, so you're up first. There is one momentum in the dice in the momentum pool if you choose to make use of it.
All right. Let's see. So choose an enemy. Attempt an average animal handling test. +1 step for every point of reach the target weapon. A failed test moves me to the target zone, but not in the target's reach. Successful test allows you to make an immediate melee attack. And then momentum spend from the animal handling test, 1d20 bonus of the attack skill, 1 CD to damage.
Are you looking at mounted combat?
Oh, yes.
Yep.
Never mind. All right, let's just, we lunge forward and try to hit something.
All right. Yeah. Okay, so you leap forward into one of these things. So maybe like Ong says to you, do we run? And you say, we fight! And jump in.
We run. No, we fight. All right.
All right.
Here we go. And input value, so I already get 4 dice, right? Oh, wait a second. It only gives me 2. No.
So these things are wielding spears, which are reach 3.
So same as me then, right?
Yes.
Okay. Attacking. 1.
1 is a success, and they're not going to defend. Okay, so go ahead and roll damage.
Nice.
So you got no momentum, but did you use that momentum?
I didn't use anything.
Okay.
All right. Modifier. Kablam. Oh,
whoa, nice.
Zoinks.
And it looks like you got sweet 1. So you got piercing by 1. So let's see here. Their armor is only 1. A corroded bronze breastplate. So you pierce that and do 4 points of damage. Which is nice. Yeah. So you basically skewer one and as you pull it away, it just falls to pieces.
All right. Yeah.
Okay. So that's 1 down.
Sorcery.
Next, okay. Do you want to roll for Hitip?
Sure.
Okay. So he's got he's using a Khopesh, which is okay. I'll just use the stats for broadsword, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
This is reach 2, which means difficulty is 2. So there is 1 in the. You can spend Doom for his roll if you like, or you can use that momentum.
Let's use 1 momentum for it.
Okay, so roll 3d20 for me, please.
3d20. Bam! Nice.
That is awesome. So 3 successes.
Yeah.
So he's got 1 momentum to maybe pay that back to the pool, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead and roll 5d6 for me, please.
Nice. Don't have to do.
Let's see. No, it's 66 because this guy's a big fucker, so he's got a strength bonus.
There we go.
Nice. So that is 1, 2, 3 plus 2, 3 effects. A broadsword has no effects. So basically, it's 3 points of damage. So that is not good enough to get through. It is getting good enough. So he batters one of these things, and it's maybe its arm is broken off, and it's left holding the spear with only 1. And then it is.
So how does that work? The roll is 66. So you take the highest roll, or what?
No, remember that it's so each for each of the dice.
One?
Yeah,
Okay.
a 1 is 1 point, a 2 is 2 points, 3 and 4 is nothing,
Right.
5 and 6 is 1 plus an effect.
Okay.
So I was looking to see what the effect of a broadsword is. Broadsword's quality is parrying. So he may have talents. There's talents that give you other things, like you can spend momentum to give something the vicious quality.
Mm-hmm.
In which case, actually, Blood on Steel is the ability that does that. I'm going to say that he has that. So instead of banking it, he'll put the he'll spend 1 momentum to give his Khopesh the vicious quality, which means every one of those effects that he rolled is 1 extra damage. So instead of doing 3, he does 6 points of damage. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So he smashes one of these things and it just shatters. And then why don't you roll for Ong? Ong is going to roll. So there's no momentum unless you want to give me Doom. He's rolling 2d6, and then his difficulty is a 2 because of the reach of the spears.
I'll give you 1 Doom.
Okay. So roll 3d6. Let's see how Ong does.
3d6? Okay.
No, sorry, 3d20. Thanks.
Boom. Oh,
Nice.
That's nothing.
I think only one of those is a success. His agility is pretty high, but
okay.
Well, you know what? I mean, let's see here. What would they? Let me see what I'm using sort of the rough idea of what the so agility 11 combat. So you have an overall skill 12. So only one of those is a success. So he unfortunately can't. He's sort of jumping in and swinging that that thing. What he should have done is used his fucking bow. So maybe I'll do that next time. Or we can just say that's what he did do. In which case, I think it's still only one success. So I don't think he's going to hit him. Yeah, I don't think so. Here's the way that what do you call it? Range weapons work in this is each weapon has an ideal range that it operates at. And when you're firing at that range, difficulty is 1. And then for each range zone different from that, it adds 1 to it. So like range weapons that are ideal at close range, they're gonna be at a 1. And then when you're at medium range, it's a 2. At long, it's a 3. At extreme, it's a 4, and so forth. But there are some things like a Bessonian, I think it's the Bessonian longbow, Bessonian longbow has basically an extreme range. So at 4 ranges away, it's 1 to hit it. Boom, boom, boom. So it's really easy, and the closer they get in, and you can get talents that will allow you to fudge that. So you can be a better archer at different ranges that aren't maximized for your or optimized for your weapon. So it's another one of the things that the game does that I haven't seen it been done that way in another game. So pretty cool. So now it is the these things. All right. So they are going to they're going to attack you because you're the hero. So there are 3 of them left, and that's it right now. They're using spears against you, which are same length. Do you want to defend at all? I'll tell you, I'm going to spend a couple doom on this. So
right. Good. And I also will parry.
Okay. So my doom will go back. I'm not going to spend it, but goes up to 2 again. All right. So let's see here. How'd you do?
Oh.
Okay.
0.
Let's see here. I got a crit. But that's, I think, the only hit I got.
Right.
So you got 2 successes, which is enough to hit you, and with 1 momentum. So I'm going to spend the momentum on extra damage. And actually, you only take 2 points of damage. So your spear is piercing, though. So you do take 1 vigor.
1 vigor. Okay.
Yeah, that's it. So, and then I can spend a doom to make a bite attack on you as well, which I will do. I'm not spending the one that you gave me either. This is one from a previous spend. So he'll make a bite attack. These giant, fleshless, stony jaws are going in. We got 1 hit on you. Did you want to parry that one as well? That will be 2 doom.
Rock and roll. Yes, let's do it.
Okay, so go make a parry. You just need to get 1 success, and then you're safe.
Nope.
Oh shit. So thank you for that doom.
All right, you're welcome.
All right, then stepping jaws. So the bite does. Oh fuck. Yeah, it does more. And I should say, if Brent ends up watching this, Brent, I am using my House Karita dice that you got me for Christmas. So I am using my BattleTech dice to play Conan. All right.
Hard fight.
1, 2. It's only 2 plus special, which are nothing. So this does not get through your armor.
All right.
Okay. So then that is the end. That's it for the skeletons. Now, top of the round, you and Hatip and Ong get to go.
All right.
Who do you want to go first?
I'll go first, and I won't spend any momentum.
Okay.
Here we go. 1. Bam.
1 is enough to hit, so go ahead and roll damage. Excuse me.
Piercing. Pew!
Ooh, nice. Okay, so 4. So no extras. So your piercing isn't triggered, which means not quite enough. You get 1, and you've shaken like maybe the breastplate loose, and it's sort of hanging, on corroded leather straps, and you destroy part of this thing's body.
One of his ribs snap off.
Yeah. But it's not quite down just yet. Now we have. Do you want to do Hatip or Ong next?
Let's do Hatip.
Hatip, okay. So Hatip will be rolling 2 dice against a difficulty of 2 because of the range difference.
Right. Okay, he'll give you 1 doom.
Okay. I love it. Doom.
Blam.
So that's 2 successes. Nice. Okay. So you have that means he hit. Roll damage is 66.
66.
1, 2,
That's
3, 4. So 4. He rolled no momentum, right?
That's right.
So just 4. So unfortunately, this thing it gets this thing or takes the opening he had against this lizard thing, but it smashes against its breastplate and it sort of like rattles this thing, but unfortunately no damage.
Okay.
Wait, no, that's not wrong. The breastplate only does 1. That was the beetles that had the high one. So yeah, no, he does. Maybe he takes down the one that you softened up.
Okay.
You softened up, and it sort of like it was distracted by it, so he saw an attack of opportunity and just cut this thing down with the I forgot the minions. So 1 more is down. There are only 2 remaining.
Alrighty.
All right. So Ong curses in Hyrcanian, tosses the scimitar down. He's going to draw his Hyrcanian bow.
Okay.
The ideal range for the Hyrcanian bow is close. So it's a 1. He needs to hit this thing. You want to give me any doom or anything?
It's a 1 to hit this thing, and I think he's okay. He rolls 2, does he? 2.
He rolls 2 dice right now. Yeah.
Let's do it.
Okay. Oh, actually, hold on. Well, actually, I'll need to add on to this.
Okay.
So he's hit with 1 so far.
Mm-hmm.
There's an ability you've got called Volley, and what Volley is you've got rather than tracking like individual ammunition and stuff like that, what you have is loads for different weapons. You can have loads for your bow. It's a sort of an abstract reflection of a bunch of them.
Right.
What you can choose to do is say, I'm going to use a volley, and a volley it adds +1 dice to your roll and +1 to damage.
Oh, interesting.
So he's just like unloading with a bunch of arrows against this thing.
All right, let's do it. Rapid fire.
Still does +1 damage, so it'll do 4. Roll 46 damage.
All righty. 4d6. Rolling.
1, 2, 3, 4.
5.
Let's see, what's the qualities on Hyrcanian bow? None. Just volley. Okay, so pretty good. Okay, so he still did 4 points of damage. So another one of them is down.
Left.
He did 5 points of damage. So forgive me. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. So another one is down. There's only 1 remaining.
All right.
Okay, so on this thing, it is once again you feel that wave of antipathy. And I'm gonna spend a bunch of doom here to rock this out a little better because I'll just start using it before it goes crazy. And again, this thing comes in. I got 1 hit. And I forgot to ask you if you wanted to defend.
I think we'll just really fight and win. We'll relax when it was let him.
Okay.
Do his bit.
So 1, it's 4 damage and it's piercing. So 1, 2 points of damage, which is stop. Oh, 1, you take 1 more vigor.
1 more vigor.
Okay. Now, so this thing gets through. Now it is top of the round. What would you like to do?
Boom, boom. All right. End it. End this business.
Yeah.
Okay, I will just straight attack. We got 3 guys to kill this thing, so we'll just not invite it. There you go.
Nice. Okay, so you hit. Go ahead and roll damage. Let's see if you put this thing to bed, as it were.
Go to sleep. Boom.
3 and how many? +1 special. Okay, so you pierce its thing. It takes 3 points of damage. I'm going to say it's probably enough to take it down. So you leap in, and how does it die?
I'm getting a sense how these things work. So I jab my spear in its side, and I rattle its spear around, and it kind of falls apart. Yeah.
Awesome. It falls apart and clatters to the ground. Sort of the washing machine.
All right. Who's a good dog?
Rather than to persuade, they are naturally led to adopt a form of organization which differs from the ordinary customs of civil bodies, and which assumes the habits and the maxims of military life. They centralize the direction of their resources as much as possible, and they entrust the powers of the whole party to a very small number of leaders. The members of these associations respond to a watchword, like soldiers on duty. They profess the doctrine of passive obedience, say rather that in uniting together they at once abjure the exercise of their own judgment and free will, and the tyrannical control which these societies exercise is often far more unsupportable than the authority possessed over society by the government which they attack.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to hit the washer too.
Sure, yeah. am indeed. Maybe what I will do is I'll fill in for the folks listening at home. We're actually playing one of the adventures from the first supplement from the Conan game, Jeweled Thrones of the Earth. It's a collection of adventures that's been published. This one is called Seethers in Darkness, and now actually I'm playing from a version that I'm not sure if it's the final version. We received not playtest versions, but draft versions of this earlier in early in the production process, because I backed the Kickstarter on this. And then, to be honest, one of the irritating things with this adventure is that there's a bunch of references to maps that are in the adventure and in the book, but it's clear that in the course of production process, there was some miscommunication between the authors and the art team, because there are references to places on the maps and indications on the maps that just aren't there. I double checked the PDF version of it, and I didn't get lost in the printing version. So that's a bit of a frustrating thing that you would hope would not show up in a final published product. But, what do you do? Mistakes can be made. It still seems like an interesting adventure. So I guess a retroactive spoiler warning for this. Maybe I'll put something in the description of the video about the adventure we're playing. But yeah. I am just quickly reading ahead to make sure I understand what's happening next here. I was just saying that this is one of the this is actually an adventure from the, obviously, as you can tell, from the first collection of adventures that's published for it. Right. And one of the fucking frustrating things with it is that the adventures the ones I've read so far seem really interesting, seem very of the Conan flavor, but there are references in it to maps that they've got in this adventure, and they say, oh, follow, so and so's tracks follow this dotted line that you'll see on the map, and it's not there on the map. And they'll say everything that's marked with an X on the map is where you'd find this thing, and it's not marked on the map. So it's like no finished product. Well, you know what? They took on a lot to get, there's a lot of product that's being made for this game that was backed with, the Kickstarter was really successful. There's a shit ton of books coming out for it, but I'm hoping that this is not indicative of what's going to happen, where it's going to be rush the book out and then it's going to be followed with a bunch of errata, because the Shadowrun, that's Shadowrun 5th edition, it's okay for getting books out in terms of getting them out, but they're always just rife with fucking errors. So the errata is 4 pages of shit. If you need to take an extra month to proofread this fucking thing, do that before I have to, before I buy it. So I'm not carrying an extra set of, a piece of paper around to tell me what you fucked up on and what you didn't read properly. Because this is a pretty bush league error that, if you're including a map in there, make sure the map corresponds with what your fucking says it does. But it's not, it's not fatal. Still, you can work around that, but I'm hoping it's not indicative of what, I'm hoping that they'll learn from the mistakes in this. Yeah. Yeah. So, I'm still finishing it. Anyway, well, listen, I had said that we were going to play till 2, and we're getting close to 2 right now. So I know you got plans later this afternoon. So why don't we? These things clatter to the ground, and what you see is there is a glint of silver that you saw in there, and looking in there. There is, in one of the skeletons, that was, because remember, these things were laid to rest in the tombs that were in the side of the thing. There is a silver brooch with emeralds in them, which is worth 1 gold. Dang. All right. Okay. So you see that, and the Ong says, sorcery. I knew there was sorcery down here. You're right. Looks like it's going to be a tough slog to get out of here. Okay. So with that, I guess, we see that they're the tracks from where the tracks you've been following, ones you're presuming were made by Salini.
I see that the guys, obviously the old man's not afraid of this place. He must know something. We need to find him. Yeah.
Okay. So with that, Hatip just sort of grunts and nods. Like it's as much agreement as you're going to get from this stoic bastard. And Ong says, "I'm not to do." So the Hyrcanian warriors do not dig. He kind of nods to like, let's carry on.
Nice.
So you guys turn and keep making your way along. And that's where we'll cap the session for today. So for those listening at home, thanks so much for joining us for another Conan episode. Hope you enjoyed. I've told we've got a bunch of games that are on the go in our group right now. And this remains my favorite thing to run. I absolutely love this game. I think it's fucking ton of fun to run, ton of fun to... It's very hardcore, yeah, but also gives you that great, like, because you get your vigor back at the end of each round, it's sort of like you're running an engine in the red, and then you want to make sure you're not running it over, so.
It's quite similar to video games these days where you get hurt, and then you get your energy back.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, totally. Yeah. So thanks again for joining us. We'll look forward to sharing some more Conan with you in the near future.